right place to move. In the right place with you. Always stay up all night. Watch the neon light. Touch you once I go numb. Heartbeats like a drum. Be the fantasy. Give yourself to me. Stay in this moment. Just hold on, hold on. We got tonight, babe. Tomorrow it's gone. You in the moonlight. It's all that I want. It's all that I want. It's all. We can touch the sky, babe. It's a natural high. I know I'm alright when I look into your eyes. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give me that beat, that funky, funky. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give me that beat, that funky, funky. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me, baby. Face towards the stars. Feel my beating heart. All up in my zone. Why let this go? Touch you once I go numb. Heartbeats like a drum. Feel the fantasy. Give yourself to me. Stay in this moment. Just hold on, hold on. We got tonight, babe. Tomorrow is gone. You and the moonlight. It's all that I want. It's all that I want. It's all. We can touch the sky, babe. It's a natural high. I know I'm alright when I look into your eyes. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me. Give it to me, funky, funky. Give it to me.
Welcome into the Boss Bar, everybody. We have our resident floof, who, of course, the minute I start talking is going to get up, or maybe she's going to eat the rose. We don't quite know. But either way, we have a Shreddy turning her back to the camera because she's a cat. And cats do this. Look at that! Look at that! She's turning her back to the whole entire stream. She's like, no, no, no. I did not volunteer for this job. No one is paying me well enough. I don't even want to get paid in treats these days because I'm an old lady. Oh, there we go. There's the face. There's the face. Well, welcome in, you guys. Welcome on in. So, because the loading bar is not the same length as the song, I figured you'd get the entire song. We are jumping back into our life of crime. Our life of crime in Farm Simulator 22. Yesterday, we stole a bunch of bales of hay. We made an extra 10,000 basically off of our black market hay. It was amazing. Today, we are going to finish stealing a bunch of corn. We made a lot of corny jokes, so we're going to try to avoid the corny jokes. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but it's great to see you guys. Welcome in. We have Valscore as the first one into chat tonight, followed shortly by the adorable Sean. It's great to see you, Crazy Shaq. Crazy Shaq is going to take me Xeno hunting next weekend. It's going to be quite fun. Zyberian, good to see you as well. Spells and Pastels, good to see you. Welcome on in. And let's see, who else do we got in here? We got Senor Cuevo with the amazing emote combos, as always. Senor Cuevo, thank you for keeping the chat extra hyped. And Thundernuts, good to see you. Do we know what's on tap tonight? Do we know if we have any specific things on tap? There we go. Thundernuts is passing everybody a drink. Enjoy. There we go. So yes, I figured, I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier, but Shreddy's been very kind of stationary over the last couple weeks. And so basically anywhere I put her, generally she stays. So I decided to bring her into the office and see if maybe we can take advantage of her kind of, she's feeling a little bit better. So I didn't want to move her until she was feeling a little bit better, but she's feeling a little bit better, but obviously not quite her full personality self. So I figured we can take advantage of it. We can enjoy her on stream. And of course, the first thing she did is try and eat my roses. So I think she's feeling a little bit better. Like, I put her into the cat hammock and she's like, "Ooh, what's this? Chomp." And I'm like, yeah, I think you're feeling a little bit better. Because for the last couple days she was not even caring if anything was nearby. So yeah, I think she's doing good. And I got something new. This was a little late Christmas present to myself that came from the headset getting. I haven't even plugged it in yet. I'm gonna plug it in after stream, but I'm excited because my my mouse, it's still working just fine, but I've literally worn the pad. I've worn through the top, and I mean it's a good mouse. It's a good mouse. So I'm gonna actually use this on my work computer, and then I'll have the extra fancy gaming mouse, which I've never gotten a fancy game. This was as fancy as gaming mice as I get, right? And this came with the computer. So yes, mixing up. Yeah, we've got some new colors going on. I figured we'd get some kind of like some blues and some purples, and then I still have some reds in our LEDs behind us, but I have some really great stories from today for you guys. And some funny comparison photos. The M. Wilson, hello, M. Wilson. How are you doing? Have you, are you part of the crew that stabs each other in the back in, Icarus? Or are you just the, the bystander to the chaos? So... Oh no! Val Squirt, drink some prune juice, eat a bunch of cherries. Let's see. Anybody else have some advice? Oh no, that's not good. Go to Taco Bell. Go get some Taco Bell. That'll clean you right out. Oh, that's... Or just take the plug out. I mean, if you forgot, and then that's probably the reason, but Sean's like, no. Oh no. All right. Well, that's I mean, we are on a farm, so we shouldn't be too hesitant to talk about things that have to do with animals, but today I had back-to-back client meetings. The one client and the other client, they were polar opposites, and I'm so glad. I actually asked the one client, I was like, do you want to go before or after the other one? And they're like, oh, let's go after. I'm so glad, because if I had gone the other way around, I would have just been like, oh, this is a disappointment. Like, I would have been so disappointed. Oh, okay, there you go. M. Wilson, see, that's me in Icarus as well. Although, oh my goodness, so I've never fuel ratted in Elite Dangerous. If you guys, obviously, I think almost everybody who's in here right now knows Elite Dangerous, but just in case there's someone lurking that hasn't said hi and doesn't know Elite, there's this group in Elite Dangerous called the Fuel Rats, and they're basically AAA of space. So if you run out of fuel, you call them, they rescue you. Well, there's actually a group in the Icarus official Discord that's asking for a channel for rescues, and I personally would be so freaking excited to drop in and like go rescue someone on a mission. I think that would be so freaking cool to do as a group, like to be kind of like the Fuel Rats of Icarus. That personally gets me really excited. I'm like, yes, I can white knight someone. It would be so cool. I tried to white knight Valscore, but unfortunately he was already dead. So my track record on rescues is 0 out of 1, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, you think that's May right now? May rescues people off of surveys, or May needs rescuing? Because I think May is pretty hardcore. I'm guessing May's probably the rescuer or the backstabber. Which one? I know, right? But I was like, oh, that would be so cool to just go in, meet people through rescuing. Anyway, It was just kind of a random thought from passing through the discords. But anyway, while we're chit-chatting, while I give you a story time, because we've got Shreddy on cam. Oh no, she moved off of Shreddy. I got the framing all perfect before stream, and you. Oh no, that's not. Oh no, that's what's going on here. No, why? What? No, Shreddy. It's like I'm like trying to expand the border, and instead it's moving the whole entire cat. Look at that. Look at that. It's moving the whole entire cat to get the edge right. Okay, OBS. I don't know what you're smoking, but that's the way it should work. Okay. We've got a solid Shreddy. So let's get our save to open. Oh wait. Okay. Alright, we're loading it up. We're loading it up. Kitties! Stardom! Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been great chatting this evening. But yes, we got a sleepy kitty cat who doesn't seem to be too mad at me that I'm chit-chatting near her. Usually she's like, meh. Hey, Gino! Maze Icar is yeah. Probably other games, but I haven't witnessed that first. Yes, exactly. May's done all the missions, right? All right. Gino has a question. Gino, good luck with your questioning. All right. So we are on our front porch. Let's see. Where is our corn thievery? Alright, we're 64% full on our... Oh, there we go. How are we doing here? Okay, we're 0%. Ah, right! I set us up. I set us up perfectly to get started. Beautiful. Thundernut. Nothing yet. You haven't missed anything yet. I was waiting to tell stories until we were in the combine harvesting the cornfield. We're 50% done. Oh, also, chapter 2, part 1 of the Institute is live on YouTube. I should probably set up a command for that. I'll do that soon. Valscore! Thank you for gifting Gino with 3 free months of unlimited beers and unlimited snacks. We need to start a boss gym so that all these wonderful people who are gifted all this wonderful free food and drinks will also get gifted free exercise. 3 months! Thank you, Valscore. And Gino, congratulations. Ron, how you doing? And Matchy Dichu, yes, it has been a while. It has been a decent while. It's good to see you. I hope you've been doing well. I hope you've been doing well. All right, here we go. We get some of our corn. Oh my goodness! Last night, you guys, if you weren't able to be here for the end of the stream last night, we raided one of my friend Dizzy's new streamer friends, and she's this very outgoing Aussie, and she has TTS on, so we whipped our nuts out in her chat, and it was fantastic. It was so fantastic. TTS is a rare treat, and especially when it reads things out right. Oh, it was great. So Bossla 10 nuts, Bossla 10 lick, Bossla 10 nuts. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's a party! Wilmer! Hey, Wilmer. Also, so just kind of announcements and news. So the 2 things, so the newest chapter update, I'm trying to get it out every Wednesday, and then a bonus content over the weekend if I can manage with the Institute. So, so chapter 2, part 1 is in the live realm. And also, if anybody would like to name a plant after themselves, the channel reward is there. It's going to be there for another couple weeks. So you can redeem that to name a plant after yourselves. Life's been a little bit crazy. Hopefully good crazy, Matchy, not bad crazy. And busy. I understand how that goes. Ron naming a plant after himself. There we go. Black Rose Gaming. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, oh, look, that looks like a question mark. It's gonna be like, you could get a rose named, but we're only doing annual plants. How many people? I've not run anybody over, but I've stolen one farm field worth of hay so far. That's how much I've stolen. And we're gonna steal all this corn, so. Oh, meh, crazy. I did miss the question, Gino. There was a lot of hype going on in the chat, so let me see if I can see it. Nope, it's literally all the way up off the screen. I think it was even before, I think it was even up off the screen before Valscore gifted you. Oh, I see. Oh, I see your question. I do like your little crabbies. They're very cute. I have not heard the news. I have not heard the news. So, today, leader of Spear was patched out? What do you mean by they were patched out? Like, as in they were banned from the game, or like that the game broke for them and so they can't play anymore? Oh, they were banned? Oh, wow. Well, I guess that's a big old congratulations. I know it's been a long, ongoing war between them. This is the anti-ganking group's leader. Interesting. So they violated the terms of the game so badly that they got themselves banned. That's not a good record. That's not a good record. Spear. Ah, Senor Cuevo. Yes. So they are the anti-ganking group, basically kind of the White Knight group of PvPers in Elite Dangerous, and they specifically target and go after gankers in the game. And they're the squadron. The squadron name is Spear. That's cool. That's I mean, I really am curious what they did to get banned, because, you know, that's a pretty harsh response, depending. Some took it too far. He crossed the line by looking at people's IPs and locations. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. No. No. Yeah, people take these things really seriously. I mean, no matter what, it's the internet, right? It's the internet, but I've heard some stories, like, there was someone in the Elite Dangerous world who purposely, like, DDoSed and doxed one of the streamers he didn't get along with. Now, the streamer he didn't get along with also was prone to paranoia and over-exaggeration. So I always kind of took it with a grain of salt, but they did go a little bit crazy on me one time. They were being rude in someone else's stream that I moderate, and I just like said, "Hey man, you know, wanna calm down a little bit?" And they got like all up in my face. They're like, "Ah, blah, 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 I've been around forever, blah, blah, blah. You've only been here for so long." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So there's a few crazies out there, the not cool crazies. There's a lot of the cool crazies, but I'm trying to shave a nice clean line. I feel like this is like a trimmer, like we're giving someone a haircut. Yuri, how you doing this evening? Welcome on in. All right, that's when you wield the ban hammer. Exactly. So they were actually doing ban evasion, I think is what they were doing in Wilson, is that their main account had been banned and they were pretending not to be themselves and they were speaking on behalf of their main account. And I was like, mm-hmm. Yes, Crazy Shaq. Yeah, after, you know what? Just hearing the stories about Rust, I am no longer shocked by things in the gaming world. But yeah, Eve, I hear, gets really intense too. Like, really intense. But you know, I mean, it's, if you guys have not read The Subtle Art of Giving a Fuck, I would highly suggest it. It's a really great and comical read, as well as a great self-help book if that's what you're into. But I would read it mostly for the comedy and then somewhat for the advice. But I love, he says this thing in the book, which is that the principle of the whole book is that we only have so many fucks to give, right? Like, we only have so much energy, we only have so many fucks to give. And when we don't have a lot going on in our life, or when our life is very, very focused in on something, we give a lot of fucks about that thing. I know, you probably are like, oh my god, boss lady, I haven't heard you say fuck that many times. But anyway, moving on. So, for example, the example he uses is like the old lady with the coupons in the grocery store line who's freaking out that the coupons are past their expiration date. But he's like, to that lady, that's what she gives a fuck about, right? Like, that's the most important thing in her life, and she's gonna dedicate a lot of fucks to that, and she's gonna be, you know, pissed that her coupons aren't valid anymore. So that's what I think of with things when people get really their nose so out of joint at a game, is that's their world. And I'm not making a judgment on that. I'm just saying that that's what they give a lot of fucks about. So, the rest of the people that don't give a lot of fucks about it can troll the shit out of them and absolutely wreck their day. No, I don't think it does. I don't think it auto-aligns at all, M. Wilson. Because I wish it did. I wish it did. And it seems to be at, like, a little bit of an angle. Like, I'm having to correct it a little bit. So I can do on my own fields, I can create, I can hire a helper, but these are contract work, so I have to do it myself. All right, Harvey has just redeemed the first ever boss story time, and the prompt is, the number of fucks is proportional to the amount of asses in the area. All right, so I have to do a boss story time, the prompt of which is the number of fucks is proportional to the amount of asses. Okay, so in light of storytelling, there once was a Elite Dangerous commander who decided he was going to take on Tony Curtis. And he built the best ship ever. He got his friends together. He talked shit. He watched the stream. He hunted him down. And then he got his ass handed to him. And Tony made fun of him. And he had a mental breakdown. And he left the game. He had way too many fucks to give about Elite Dangerous. And the moral of the story is, don't try and kill Tony Curtis. He's not going to play fair. He's not going to duel you one-on-one. He's going to jump in, he's going to take some pot shots, and he's going to leave. If you want an honorable one-to-one competition, then you find someone that's an honorable person to do a one-to-one thing. Anyway, good evening, Art Jolly. I feel like that was a bad story. I'll think about this. How many the fucks to give versus the assholes? Oh my goodness. That's a tricky one. Yep. Street rules, right? If you want to one-on-one marry a Thargoid. Oh no. I guess that is true. That is true. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where the basic principle, and this may be something you subscribe to or not, which is that we have no control over life's events. The only thing we have control of is how we react to them. And that puts a lot of pressure, right? To react a certain way or to take responsibility for how things go. But it is an interesting one, and that's kind of the principle of choose what you want to give a fuck about. Make sure the thing that you're getting your nose bent out of joint for is worth getting your nose bent out of joint for, you know? Oh, it says what tractor we're in at the bottom of the screen. That would have saved me a lot of time yesterday when we were trying to figure out what the loaner tractor was. I know, BA. I kidnapped Shredder and I put her into the hammock because she's been kind of feeling under the weather. And so she doesn't really move once I move her somewhere. So I've been trying to be very kind to her lately and like move her outside onto a pillow or move her around. She has been getting up on her own and going and eating and doing things like that. But other than that, she's been pretty stationary. So I figured I would use that to our advantage. And so we've got an adorable little Shreddy Kitten. Yes, an adorable little Shreddy Kitten. She's like, what are you doing to me, human? I know. Hey, Willie! I don't trust train operators because they have locomotives. Excellent dad joke. Excellent dad joke. So yeah. She does seem to be doing a little bit better though, but she lost like 2 pounds, which for a cat, that's a lot. It's a lot of weight to lose over a couple weeks. Maybe about a month. So I'm just keeping an eye on her. She seems to be doing okay now, like better. She's not back to her old self. She's 14, so she's older, but yeah, she was being very, very quiet, and that's unlike her. She's always been a very independent cat, you know? She does what she wants. All right, so we just filled that up. That only gave us 30%. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go dump this corn. This is a big field. This is the Mac Daddy of paydays for robbing people. But I do think that because we have done so much banditry, we might have to do some like stand-up jobs, because it would look really bad if every time we took a contract we suddenly got robbed by outsiders, right? So we might have to seed in some legit projects just to cover our tracks. Make sure no one's on to us. Maybe take some easy fertilizer gigs or something like that. Also, we probably need to take different types of gigs so that they, you know, if we're always harvesting and we don't do anything else and we always steal the stuff we harvest, the law is gonna catch up with us pretty quickly. Gotta be smart. I do like that one. Harvey says, what do you call a wet cat? It doesn't matter. Whatever you call them, they're not gonna come when you call. Yep. Oh, Sir Cupcake Man, thank you for the lurk. Thank you very much for the lurk. But anyway, so funny stories of today, in the day of Boss Lady. So I had 2 different clients that I met with, new clients, both recommended by my contractor. And the first one was, oh my goodness. So the first one, I'm going to be kind of judgy. They seem nice enough. They seemed nice enough, but they basically don't want a landscape. That's basically, from everything they were telling me about what they wanted, they don't want a landscape at all. And if they had the money, they would just pave over everything, because they don't want a landscape. So out front of their house is like a corner lot, and they had like 8 raised beds, and they only want to keep 2 of them. So they want to get rid of 6 raised beds. They only want 2. And then they want to like take everything out, level it all off, pave areas so they have more paths, which makes sense, right? Put up a fence. So we're storing our corn, by the way. That's what we're doing right now. Good night, Crazy Shaq. Good night. Hello, Eartho. Yes, the Colonel Bandit rides again. We're almost done with the job too, which is exciting. So then we go into the backyard, and like at first the wife was walking me through it, then the husband was walking me through it. So we go into the backyard, and they basically want to like build a big old deck. They have a big family, so they're like, the size of gatherings that they normally have is like 12 people, and they want to put gravel and hardscape pretty much everywhere. And so I was like, oh, okay, you know. But then the line that scared me the worst was, oh, well, my wife's dad drew us up some plans, so we'll send them over so that you have an idea of kind of what we're thinking about. And I'm like, Oh, really now? Oh, really? Every time I've had someone who had either a friend or a parent or a significant other that, like, drafted up some plans, it always goes badly. Because that third party is always going to be, like, backseat designing, you know? So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. So I was kind of like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, beyond hand. $800 plan inspection fee. $800 plan inspection fee. If they want me to look at his plans, we'll go with $800. Just kidding. Yeah. Yes, Arjolly, right? You drew up some plans. Can I help you out for $800? I can look at them. No. Sometimes they actually do the groundwork for me and I'll give them a discount, but sometimes I'm like, no, I don't think that's how it works. So I left that project. I was kind of like, I will be shocked. I will be shocked if they do hire me, because I'm like, do they really need me? You know, they got the dad-in-law. And then the next clients, you guys, were fantastic. Freaking fantastic. Literally drive 10 minutes down the road. Awesome couple. The the one husband was very, like, quiet and stoic and probably like 6'2". He had like one of those boot things on his leg because he had injured his Achilles heel while doing tennis or something. The other one was kind of like just like an inch or two taller than me. Super chatty, super friendly. And it was great because, like, the whole time we'd be walking around, the one would be like, I want to do this and this and this. And then the other one would kind of be like, And, like, that always happens with couples, but these guys were, like, they were so adorable. Like, they obviously love each other and get along really well, because I was at a project last Friday where the couple did not get along, and that's always dangerous, because then I end up being couples counseling. But we're walking through, and they have 2 pet bunnies. One is named Wimbley for Wimbledon, and one is named Gray because it's gray and white. So they were super adorable. So they're indoor-outdoor bunnies, so they actually live inside, and they're, like, basically, like, bunny litter box trained, which is really cute. They're gonna get chickens, so I get to help them design and create a chicken run. And then they want to put in raised beds, and they have fruit trees, and they've done hydroponics. And I was just like, they're my people, you know? Like, the other clients are ripping out the raised beds, and these guys are putting them in. And I was like, polar opposite clients, literally. Scooter, thank you very much for the raid of 1. We appreciate you bringing yourself into the stream. Your cat used to love bunnies? Yeah, bunnies are the cutest. Yes. I allow each person 1 redemption per stream. Yeah. So you guys can redeem a story. Yeah, so they'll have their own little chicken run, like a specific run just for them. So they'll have plants that are kind of destructible, and also some things that'll, like, have some good scent, because it's right next to their house. And I'm like, they're first time chicken owners, so they're not, I don't think they're quite up to speed on the eau de parfum de chicken, you know? It may just be me, but I had started, oh, no way! Hey! You know what? I appreciate you being here, and it's nice to meet you, either way. We're naughty. We're really naughty. We're taking contract jobs, and then we're absconding with the produce, but we've done 2 projects in a row like that, and we don't want to get caught by the farm police. So we're gonna have to, like, pretend to go you know, work hard and do other jobs to throw them off our scent, because with the hay project, we told them that our trailer got stolen. I'm gonna probably say that the corn was a clerical error. That somehow the money got lost in the transfer or something. But I think 2's okay, 3 is a pattern, so we better kind of cool our jets for a little bit, make off with all the money. Yes. Chickens can be really good pets, though. Chickens can be really good pets. It all depends on how much time you have, how you raise them, and what breeds. Yeah. Oh, that'd be so cute! Harvey Mo, that'd be cute. A little saddle and a little hat. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Scooter, you're right. I thank you, Valscore, for the shout out there. Thank you. I house sat for my contractor, and he has chickens, and they're in a very small enclosure. And yeah, the smell is ripe. And I had chickens growing up too. So it's all kind of like, if you go out each day and you kind of clean up, or you have a lot of straw and you just keep cycling through. It's like mucking the barn. You have to keep it regularly cleaned, because otherwise it gets rank. All right, let's stop here. Extend that. And then jump in here. But it's going to be really cool. And they were just really sweet. I mentioned, like, just offhanded, like, we're just chatting. It's nice. You know, not every client I like as a person. I mean, they're all nice people, but, you know, some people you get along with, and some people you're like, oh, okay, they're nice enough. But, like, these two, they were like, I was like, these guys could be my friends. They like gardening, they like animals, you know? I was like, they are fantastic. And so I mentioned offhanded that I'm an impressionist painter. And, the one was like, oh my god, I have to see your work! And I was like, oh, no! You know, I was like, oh no, I have to show someone some of my paint. I was like, okay, maybe, like, but I just dabble. So I am a landscape architect. That is my profession, and so I do mostly residential. So I go out, I meet with homeowners and help them plan out everything outside of their house. So anything from driveways to patios to decks to fire pits to pools to rock walls and farms and basically anything that anybody can come up with. It sounds fancy. Yeah, it's a little bit different, Harvey. Just a little bit different. But it does end up being kind of family counseling sometimes, because you're like, all right, we have to bridge two different people's desires and opinions. Who has the wallet? Matchy George, thank you for the lurk, and hopefully life gets a little bit more relaxing, but I do appreciate seeing your face, and I'm glad you're doing okay. Even amid all the meh busyness. Yes, exactly. Artho is correct. I have to massage egos instead of bodies. Ah. I'm a psychological masseuse. I am, Scooter. I am pretty smart. I you know, not brilliant genius level, but both my parents have high IQs. And I try. But if you look at how my grammar works in my writing, then you'll probably think I'm pretty dumb, so. Just, it's all, there's 6 or 8 different types of intelligences. And I know I don't rate very highly on some of them, but on others I'm pretty good, so. Psychological, yes. You know what? That's fantastic. Yes, yeah, with especially with video production and things like that. You get the person that's like, I want to do all this stuff, and then they don't have the money, and you're like, so who's the person with the checkbook on this project? I know, we've missed you too. We missed you too. Hopefully, you know, we'll get to see more of you, but I know how it goes, because you have a really early schedule, and this is pretty late at night, so it's just a treat. It's a treat to get to see you. You do tons of weddings? Oh, weddings. I know a lot of people that are in the orbit of weddings. And my contractor actually wants to get into events, like doing planters and things, and I'm like, good luck with that, dude. I'm like, I'll help you design them, but the logistics of that is on you. Some weddings, I'm sure, are really amazing, and it's a good source of income. It's a great source of income, because people are always getting married. But, yeah, it can be there's a lot of different dynamics that go on in weddings. A lot of different dynamics that can go on in weddings. And, you have to figure out who really has the power and who has the checkbook. Who is the decision maker and who is the bank. Yeah. Don't do it, it's a trap! I know, right? Yes! On a brighter note, your computer's fin. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So guys, Matchy rebuilt / built a new PC after having kind of limped along for a while with an older PC. If the money wasn't so good, I wouldn't. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that the money is pretty good. The money is pretty good when it comes to weddings. Scooter, thank you for the follow and also two-stepping. Thank you. We're living dangerously. We're bandits. We're just gonna drive right across the train tracks, not even looking both ways. I got into a polite standoff at a 4-way intersection today. No one was moving forward. Those are always the most awkward, when everybody, like, there was like 6 cars at the intersection, no one was going, and I'm like, alright, I think that's about right. So, anyway, I think I pretty much have those clients, the second pair. The first pair, yeah, you know. But yes, there's definitely jobs like that, Scooter, even that I take on. Like, I have this project that I've told these guys about many times, but I call it the, if I get this project, I'm gonna cry and not out of joy. I met this very, very rude human being with a very large project, and so I priced it at the, you're rude, and if I have to deal with you, I'm gonna need some serious counseling / spa days. Not days. So I priced it at that level, and if she accepts the bid, I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna be like, no! Why? Why did I even send it? But I will also be, I guess, satisfied once it's done. If it ever gets done. I don't think it will, but you never know. You never know. Valscore says, but would you say you're living elite dangerously? I just missed a whole row of corn, and the only way I can tell is the shadows. No? Okay, that's weird. So I harvested it, right? Like, it's not growing, but I don't think I harvested it. Yeah, see? They're invisible. They're invisible. It's invisible corn! Is it still corn if it's invisible corn? Alright. Well, it was lovely to meet you, Scooter, and yes, good luck with all those tricky clients. I look forward to hearing some stories next time you drop by. Because I'm sure there's lots of good ones. And Sean, sweetheart, welcome in. We have the adorable Sean here, but I didn't know Sean had a sweetheart. I guess we find out different things all the time. Did the kernels still show the toy? That's a good question, Harvey. Sean's like, no. No. Sean, why didn't you tell us that your sweetheart was going to be joining the stream this evening? What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to be able to get the rest of this in one go? I hope so. It's very satisfying. There's something, you know how they have the, like, strangely satisfying category of videos on any social media? That's what I'm feeling like right now. It's like, Farm Sim is just strangely satisfying. Sean did not know. Oh, okay. Excellent, excellent. Also, listen to the sound, the rustling of the corn. Isn't that great? little details like that. Like I was watching, I know I haven't watched it before, Better Call Saul, and I think it's in one of the first. Oh gosh, no! I was trying to drive backwards. Oh gosh, I've ruined our perfect lens. Yeah. Farm Sim is the bubble wrap of video game. Yes, it is! It's just, you know, or like the gooey thing. Anyway, there's all those videos that are like strangely satisfying. And this is fantastic. And what I like is you hear the rustling of the corn. You hear that? Oop. Overcorrected a little bit there. You hear that? Like, that's fantastic. That's just like a little detail. Yeah, I just, for the sake of that, I threw off my, I threw off my perfect line. What will we do? I mean, just because we're bandits doesn't mean we do sloppy jobs. I mean, it's actually the polar opposite. We want to get every single corn kernel out of this field because we're making bank on it. It's all money. As Eartho says, hardcore corn action. Or should we call it hard cob corn action? Or hard stock. Could be hard stock corn action. Hard corn action! Oh, Mechanic Man! Harvey says farm sims are just not the same without the farmer chasing someone with a shotgun and his daughter shouting, "No, Daddy, I love him!" What was I thinking? I was thinking about a little white tank top sitting right there in the middle. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Shreddy. I kicked the table. I'm sorry. And I was singing Bad Dirk Bentley. Apparently, you guys, I was listening to the radio today. This is a really big deal. This is newsworthy. Dirk Bentley has never been nominated for an Emmy. The Emmys apparently have done country music dirty because Dirks has never gotten an Emmy. Tisk tisk. Oh no, you know what? You know what, Mechanic Man, if you've seen Zorba's Goid Hub stuff, I think we might have to do Corn Hub. Corn Hub and Only Plants. Only Plants is pretty fantastic though. Ooh, speaking of which, my seed order for my clients just came in and I'm pretty excited. I might have to show it off. I do have Amazon Prime. I actually, so I finished up The Witcher and I was looking on Netflix for like movies. I honestly, there's not even a category that I could easily find. And I mean, like I could find sci-fi, I can find comedy, I can find, there's no separate tab for movies on Netflix anymore. And I was like, you know what? I've been spoiled by Amazon Prime. I really like movies and shows. I've started watching some of Clarkson's Farm. I was actually gonna just like binge watch it over the holidays, but things kind of went, as some would say, tits up. So it's funny, but that's how I feel in this game. That's how I feel in this game, because I'm like, what is this equipment? This is not how I farm. This is not the scale at which I know farming. I know farming on a small community level. Yes. Yeah, right. TOS. Don't talk about corn that way. Twitch's terms of service may apply to this discussion of corn. But yes, Clarkson's Farm is very, very funny. It's basically like what I deal with on a daily basis, though. Super inexperienced people who have access to a lot of land and don't know what they're getting into. Like, but I'm rolling out a new service. This is something I'm actually really excited about. It's something I wanted to do for a long time, which is like being a farm manager. That's the service. So I'll go out a couple times a year, check in, plant different things, harvest. I'll be there during the harvest, and anything excess that the clients won't use personally, I'm going to donate to the local food banks. And I've wanted to do that for 5 or 6 years now, and I was actually going to implement that at the company I used to work for, but my boss didn't see the benefit of it, and so the program got scrapped. And then obviously when I was starting my business, I didn't really have clients, or I didn't have like regular maintenance jobs, because it's more of like if you have a maintenance job and you have a bunch of citrus trees, right, and then they don't know what to do with all those citrus, so then you donate it. I know, right? His farm assistant. I know. This is so funny. With his, with the lines not being straight. Yeah. And he's like, no one's gonna see it. And he like points up to the like major like road through. He's like, everybody drives by there and they're gonna be judging your field. And he's like, oh, I'll put a sign up and said that it was plowed by you. And he's like, don't you dare. That's my reputation on the line. Huh. Yeah. But I'm happy. I'm super excited about it, because there's a lot of people out there who want to grow food. And this goes for large farms too. Like on most farms, for example, the winery my mom used to work at, they have a on-property farm, and there's like the farmer, and then there's the other farmer, and then there's the head guy, and he's the one that decides what's planted and what grows and all that, but he's not actually the one planting it. So it's gonna be kind of neat. Yes, exactly, Melter Snowflakes. We've had the local food bank at my nephew's school. Lots of good food. Some of the produce still had dirt on it. Yes! See, that's the thing, is that there's a lot. So this is probably preaching to the choir, but fruit trees, if you didn't know this, so anybody that's had citrus trees, I feel like a lot of other fruit trees, it's not as applicable, because the trees themselves drop the fruit and you don't have to worry about it. But things like pomegranates and citrus, the fruit stays on the tree for a very long time. So what people end up doing is treating the tree like their pantry, which is really bad for the tree, because it means that the tree is still putting energy into that fruit, and it doesn't get to rest, and it doesn't get to put the energy into the new fruit. So you really do need to pick it like when it's ripe and get them off the tree. As much fun as it is to have your like pantry of lemons on your tree year round, it's better to pick them, because it's better for the health of it, disease, all that sort of stuff. Same thing with pomegranates. People leave pomegranates on kind of as a decorative thing, and there was this wonderful lady that I learned a lot from, and she used to call them zombie fruit, because they would they start getting mold and crap, and they're just packed full of disease, and they're zombie fruit. A big tater. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. I mean, no matter how small your dogs are, a potato as big as your dog that's a lot. That's a lot. I just realized that I turned the sound up because of the music, and we're all just like, whoa, tractor noise, and I'm yelling over the tractor, which is probably quite realistic, you know. Oh no! Ah, we're full! We're full! Reverse! Reverse! But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm very excited, because I did start out, that's actually how I found the place I live in, is that I harvested over 200 pounds of lemons for a maintenance client we had at the old company I worked at. And I was like, where do we donate these? How do we donate it? And it wasn't easy to get a hold of. Like, I tried to get a hold of a couple different food banks, and they were like, well, I don't know. And so there's actually an organization now that started, that their job is to talk to like homeowners and farmers, and they take it, like they come and pick it up, and then they take it too, which is fantastic, you know. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, Melter. You could have thrown what you made last night and knocked someone out. That's some heavy food. All right, let's just open wide. No, okay, let's go get our loose the chubs, chubtas. Thundernut just threw a chub at Harvey. Thundernut also started a chub party. Oh, you should have, Melter. Yeah, if you ever get good photos of produce or food, we will not be sad if you share them. All right, last funny story from Boss's working life for you guys today. This is a show and tell story. So let me prep my showing and my telling. All right, so I have this client. And every now and then you get these types of clients where they're the client, they're the person that hired you, it's just them. Usually they're a single person living alone, I've noticed. But then after you talk to them, they go to their friends and they talk to their friends and they come back with a whole different opinion than they started out with. And you're like, what's going on? And then you finally realize that their friends are really your client. And I do mean friends plural. So you get multiple different opinions that don't match. So you can't just figure it out. And usually what their friends want is opposite of what they want. So, I'm going to start out with what the client wanted. So the client has a big old deck, and we did a lot of different designs. We literally did 4 different designs for this client. 4 whole different designs. And the ideal and what they really wanted and what would have been functional for the space, it's on a hillside, like a really steep hillside, was flattening it all out, doing a retaining wall, doing some espaliered fruit trees, having a lovely outdoor kitchen area, dining area with a fireplace and a hot tub. Okay, so very kind of high-end, lovely outdoor patio, right? What they ended up doing was a deck. They put a deck everywhere, no plant, like 1 or 2 little in the ground planters. They just decked the whole thing over. No cabinets, no nothing for the outdoor kitchen, just deck. Okay. So they brought me back in and they're like, oh, well, you know, we kind of need to figure out what we're going to plant in these things. And also maybe I'd like some pots that we could plant in. I'm like, yeah, you're going to need pots because you didn't leave room in the ground that you can plant in the ground, but that's okay. So I'm like, okay. So I send over the person because I know they're kind of indecisive. I send them over like 6 different options. I'm like, okay, look at all these. Tell me which one you like. Okay. So this is what they liked. Okay. Very simple, kind of modern, contemporary with a little bit of rustic, you know, just clean, elegant pots. All right. You guys ready for this? Okay. So this is what the client wanted. This is what they selected. Now, how much do you think one of these pots costs? I did not look at the price when I sent them over the link. All right, what do you guys think? What do you think? I'm gonna do a poll. All right, you ready? This is an interactive story. All right. All right, we got 300, we got 200. What do you guys think? $7.99 Melter. Beyond Aeon says 130. All right. Each. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm actually gonna pull these up. It's probably gonna be easier to go to my email, so give me a sec. Doing things behind the scenes here for a sec. All right. Not giving away client information or anything like that. All right, you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Okay. You see this price? So for members, hold on. Let me zoom in on this. It's not letting me zoom in. Why is it not letting me zoom in? So the regular price for non-members, $1,400. Now I was like, okay, I guess I could see $1,400 for 7 pots. Okay, you know, $1,400 for for like 7 or 8 pots. Okay, that makes sense. Scroll, 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 scroll. This is 40 inches by 20 inches by 20 inches, okay? 40 inches. So a little under 4 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. That is one single pot at $2,600. $2,695. We've got, let's see, let's go with the smallest one. The smallest pot at 2 feet diameter ish and like a 1.5 feet deep is 1,065 if you're a member. So I completely understand not buying these exact pots, but we can obviously find something very similar. But who the fuck would spend that much money on pots? Okay, Restoration Hardware, if you want to sponsor me and you want to give me, $20,000 worth of pots, I would not say no, but I would also resell them to this client. Yeah. So ridiculously expensive. All right. So anyway, we're like, okay, we can find something else. And he goes, okay, so right? T. Brocken says sociopaths. Mm-hmm. Senor Cuevo says people that don't give a shit about money. Yep, there. Oh yes, pots. Like things that you put things in, not like pot as in the stuff you smoke. Yeah. Sorry, BA. I should have, yeah. I know. And Wilson says that's too many digits. And Melter says, what are they made of? Religious relics? I think there's actually some pots, you guys, that are made by Tina Fey. I'm not kidding. I'm literally not kidding. There were some on here. I mean, they're really nice looking, but I think that they're made by Tina Fey, the actress. Let's see if I can find them. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were Pottery Barn. They might have been Pottery Barn. Darn it. But anyway, so okay. So back to what he likes. All right. So this is the look. Okay, we can find it for a hell of a lot cheaper. I can make them for a lot cheaper. Buzz Lady, at least this is actual usable IRL. My girlfriend is running an auction house in Second Life, and the cash these people spend on bunches of pixels is weird. Oh, interesting Sound Rising. That's quite cool. That's quite interesting, but also really strange. Yeah. Harvey's like, yeah. I got some pots I'm selling now. So okay, so this client is driven by his friends. So one of his friends, this is a story. So one of his friends had, like, their landlord or something wants them to clear out their pots. They have some pots, and so instead of spending money on pots, they were going to go take a look and see if the pots would fit their area, and they really liked them. And so there's like some pots, there's a couple bird baths, and what they're thinking, for sentimental reasons for their friend, that they'll leave what's planted in them and add it to the project. Okay, so they sent me some pictures. Are you guys ready? Again, this is someone who probably would have spent $20,000 on pots. Money is no object. Okay, let me just point that out. They just sold their company for a lot. Okay, so you ready? Are you ready? This one doesn't look too bad. You guys, there has to be some middle ground. This is trash. Look at this. This is literally right here. This is chipping. This is starting to fall apart, and this is chipping. This is cracked. I mean, okay, so these pots would be fine. These pots would be fine if we were doing a Japanese garden or like antiquity and kind of like, or like a rustic, kind of secret garden-esque look, with lots of moss and patina. Be great. It'd be great. But remember, this is what the guy actually like is attracted to and picked out on his own and likes. This is what his friend is going to give him, and he's going to keep the plants in them. He's going to keep the plants. It's true. Awakened Death redeemed a boss story. I know, right, Spells? It's a crying shame, and I'll show you why, alright? So you're like, oh yeah, whatever, boss. I mean, you know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Looks like the like assets from a Fallout game, right? Or though it does. It kind of does. All right, let me show you where these are going, and this will give you a good idea of what's going on here, okay? So this is the backyard. Right? So, you know, I mean, there is some older kind of rock work. So I guess like the one, where is it? This one right here. Like this would be kind of cool. This one right here. That's like mossy. Could fit in with the rocks. But guys, it's like a brand new deck. That's the price of lumber these days. This is a brand new deck, right? And falling apart, nasty, dirty pots with like half dead succulents and stuff. Look at this. Okay, this is some really good work though. The carpenter. This is oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at fitting that wall, to the rock wall. That's some good stuff. It's rustic chic. Yeah, so I mean like kind of somewhere in the middle would work. Somewhere in the middle, you know? Yeah, price of lumber is no joke. Yeah, Starjam is right. But like, this is like the guy that builds these decks is fantastic. So, and I don't know why this rock did not exist here. They decided to put the rock in the middle, which makes no sense because if you're in the hot tub, you're going to want like chairs and stuff next to it, but never mind. You know, it looks very zen and kind of cool. So we could go completely zen on this. We could go like full Japanese kind of zen rustic garden look. You know. Anyway. That's my show and tell story. So, Awakened Death has redeemed a potato story. Okay. All right, we're extending boss story time today, and this one also has photos. So hold on. This is a very recent potato story. You're lucky, Awakened Death, because you just you like perfectly set this up. So actually, I need another image. Yeah, let's see if I can Google this one. And see if someone has done a good job of showcasing this. Okay. All right. So, oh, here's a good picture. So, if you want to grow potatoes at home or in general, the best way to grow potatoes is you plant them and then you constantly add straw and dirt up, and they keep growing. And the thing with potatoes and tomatoes and anything in the deadly nightshade family is that as the stalk comes into contact with dirt, it becomes roots. So the stalk then becomes roots, and potatoes are formed in these little bits right off of the roots. So they're these little tubers, and the roots go out, and then they form up the potato, right? So one of the most efficient ways to do it is this. So you get some fencing, and this is really cheap and easy. You get some fencing, you put it in a circle, you plant your potatoes in the bottom, you ring it with some straw or burlap, and then you keep adding, and then when it's done, you pull it down and you harvest your potatoes. So Mama Boss I told her about this method. She's like, oh, okay. So Mama Boss planted her potatoes. And then she added more straw, but she never added any dirt. So she added like this much straw, and then nothing really happened. She didn't get any potatoes. Fast forward like 2 years. Maybe. She's gardening. And she finds this. And she's like, look, I found one of the potatoes. Like she'd taken it all down. She'd planted like a half barrel or something on top of it. And she saw this growing out and she dug it up. And she's like, look, it's a potato. And I was like, Mom, you could have left it in the ground and then harvested the rest of the potato. But anyway, there's your potato story, Awakened Death. There's your potato story. Oh man. Okay, so this is not full yet. Wait, where's our sound? Oh, my headset died, didn't it? Did it not? Okay, yeah. It turns off if it's not getting any input for a while. Which is both good and bad. Both good and bad. But yeah, potatoes are fantastic. They're a really good staple. I was talking to my friend on Sunday about this because if you're trying to be completely self-sufficient with what you're growing in your backyard, it can be kind of tricky because there aren't a lot of starches that are easy to grow in a very small area. So like you see how much corn is out here, right? Corn takes up a lot of land mass per thing. Yes, Hug Me is correct. Potatoes are the best because if you plant one potato, you can get like 20 more or 40 more. So it's like you get a lot from one plant. So one little tower, you could get hundreds of potatoes out of one of those towers. Hundreds upon hundreds of potatoes. Like a year's worth of potatoes out of one of those towers. Depending on how much potatoes you eat, I guess. If you eat potatoes every day, I don't know. But they're also really nutritious. They also fill you up really well. So anyway, potatoes are fantastic. But obviously you wouldn't want to just put all your hopes on one crop type. So sweet potatoes, which are a totally different plant, by the way. They are a completely different plant. They're actually a vine. And sweet potatoes are a good way to go if they grow in your part of the world. You can do corn, but corn, again, it's not very efficient. Yeah, Matt Damon survived on Mars because of potatoes. Yeah, exactly. See? If Matt Damon could do it, anybody can do it. And like with Matt Damon, one potato has multiple eyes. Each eye is a plant, so you can cut each eye out of the potato, sprout each one, and then you get multiple plants off of one potato. This is very nice. Same thing with tomatoes. Tomatoes are very productive for one plant. Versus, say, like a carrot, you have one seed, you get one plant from it. Obviously, you get more seeds from each one, but you only get one edible product from one seed. When I hear that name, I instantly think of Team America. Matt Damon? Matt Damon! Yep. It's hard not to. You can slice potatoes and put them in the air fryer to make potato chips. Harvey, that sounds amazing. Potato chips. Whoops. Knocked over our... Whoa! We're driving like a crazy person. It's like we've got some illegal corn that we gotta drop off. Because of Hollywood? Oh. Mark Watney was a brilliant and well, actually, Andy Weir, the writer, came up with some pretty good ideas of how that would be possible. So basically, there was enough supplies from all of his various other astronauts that he could eat. There was enough vitamins that he could sustain himself. And then, yes, luck. The luck of the fact that there was some unfreeze-dried potatoes. Sand Rising? I I have lots of notes for when you want to go move out into the woods and be completely off the grid. Lots of notes. You got to get good at, I think basically the thing that if you want to be completely self-reliant and grow your own food, you have to get good at preserving the food. It's not really about growing the food, it's about preserving the food. As anybody who has ever grown tomatoes will know. You have tomatoes, you get a lot of them, and you have to do something with them. Winter is coming. Exactly, Ugly. Exactly. Winter is coming. Learn to hunt. Learn how to store and cure meat. Yeah. I mean, yes. Hunting or fishing is pretty important. So how there's a really great book. Now I need to remember what the name of it is. The Last Frontiersman, I think, is what it's called. Last Frontiersman. So it's the last Alaskan trapper and his story. And he lived completely off grid in the wilderness, away from anybody, right? And how they made their money was trapping and selling skins and things like that. But if you wanted to be completely removed from any economics, right? You could do it. Yep. When it comes to the meat, you're good. You didn't pay attention to crops. So, in today's day and age, with access to information, there's a couple of things I would recommend. Hold on. It's all gonna make sense. I don't know if I have. So there's a couple different things. The square foot gardening is a really good one just to kind of simplify things. One of the books I highly suggest is Carrots Love Tomatoes. Okay, this is... Ooh, what's in here? Membership. Oh, okay. This is a really good just cheat sheet for what companion plantings, what things grow well together. So for example, carrots and tomatoes grow really well. And if you think about it, tomatoes are producing above ground and carrots are producing below ground. So if you plant them together and they like growing together and they do well together, then you're doubling your production, right? And also basil. Basil makes sweeter tomatoes, and you eat the basil and you eat the tomatoes. And then it also tells you the things that don't get along if you plant them together. And then another idea is, this is specifically mini farming, how to completely get along on a quarter of an acre. And so it gives you some tips, different things to do each time of year. But I would look at square foot gardening, because square foot gardening basically breaks it down into every square foot. And you can kind of get a sense of like how much you need per person. You know, if you're really interested in this and you're like really kind of geeky about it, keep track of your groceries for a year. Keep track of what you like, how much of what you eat, and then you can get an idea of how much you need to grow. And then you can get an idea of how much you can grow per square foot. And then you know how much land you need. But it's one of those things I'm really, really passionate about. It's, if you start to read the Institute, you'll pick up on some of this. It's like, my passion is figuring out how to grow the most in the least amount of area, and how to make things really efficient and delicious and nutritious and all that stuff. So chickens are really important. I would say chickens, Then you get your eggs, you get your protein, and then your veggies. Staple crops, you know. It's all about what you eat, though. It really is. Because some people, like, you know, I personally find... So some people, some people do the, I can't find it in the market, therefore I'll grow it. And around here, where we have really good farmers markets, it's like the things that you can't find at the market is very rare. But if you want to say like things I can't find at Safeway or something like that, then you can get some really interesting stuff. So I usually get tomatoes that I don't see often at the market, or like heirloom tomatoes sell for $7 a pound. So, you know, I grow those because they're delicious. Depends on where you live, Harvey. I am a little bit too far north. I have an avocado tree. It hasn't produced yet. So you have to have a little bit of a warmer climate. So like Southern California, you can grow avocados really easily. Mexico, obviously, really good. Hawaii. Oh, the avocados in Hawaii, you guys. Amazing. Yep. You pin the seed above water in most environments. You pin them. This is smelling a lot like a new Don't Starve crop system. I know, wouldn't that be? That'd be fun. Don't starve. Companion planting. I mean, you do talk to your plants and Don't Starve, so. Oh, congratulations, Team Rocket. Yes. Getting kids out in the dirt is amazing. So this is a bonus boss story today. For a while, my garden was homeless. Okay. And you might say, boss, how do you have a homeless garden? Well, I had a really awkward living situation when I moved back to California. It was a charity house. I mean, I had to pay the deposit and the rent and everything, but the reason I got the apartment was due to knowing someone who knew someone, right? Who lived on the property. I did not meet the actual landlord. I only met his wife. And if I'd met him, I probably would have had, I probably still would have moved in because it was my only choice. I had a job, I had to be here. But I soon found out that he was an OCD, rageaholic, alcoholic, control freak who lived on the property. And it was very toxic. It was a really bad living environment. And I'm not the only one that's had bad experiences with them, so I know it's not me, right? All the neighbors were like, we're so sorry you live there. And I'm like, what? They're like, you're really nice. We're so sorry. I'm like, that's not a good sign. Anyway, so when I moved in, I said, is it okay if I have a couple pots with plants? And he's like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's fine. And my next door neighbor was talking to the guy's wife, and he's like, can we have a shared in the ground plot? And he's like, oh yeah, that's fine, it's fine. For the first year. And you could tell, like, he literally would walk by and he'd be like, and he'd always be nitpicking at things. Just always nitpicking. And he'd always be having these conversations with us about the garden. He'd be like, well, boss, I gotta talk to you about your pots. They're kind of sitting there, and if we have an earthquake, they could fall over. Well, we had like a 7.5 earthquake. This is a long story for the homeless garden, and kids. This is the seed of the story. Kids in the garden, okay? So he'd be like, I gotta, and I'd be like, okay, what would you like me to do? His name was Ray. Okay, Ray, like, just tell me what you'd like. Like, would you like me to take the pots away? Like, would you like me to remove? Oh, no, it's fine, but just put them on the ground because, or like, he wouldn't even get to that point. Like, I'd have to, like, pulling teeth. I'd have to ask him, like, a million questions to try and figure out what he wanted. So finally it got to the point that my neighbor across the road, apparently, and I say road, I mean, like, walkway. Bane, welcome in. You're coming into a random boss story. The seed of the story was kids in the garden. So my neighbor across the way actually was diagnosed, I'm not quite sure exactly what she had, schizophrenia or something, like a really serious mental illness. She was medicated, heavily medicated for it. I did not know. My friend, I put that in quotes. So my mom's friend who got me the place, who was the wife of the landlord, knew. And set us up as friends, knew. So the lady across the way went batshit crazy. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean she had enough. She had lived there for like 7, 8, 10 years, 15 years, however long she'd lived there. She had put up with this guy for a long time. Their house, like, he wouldn't fix things. They had literally a leak that went through and rotted out the boards on their front door. I mean, it was really bad. It was a really bad living situation. So she lost her ever-loving marbles. She, like, yelled at him. She got in her car and she left. She left her husband, her kid, or adult son, her cats, her garden. She left. Gone. Never to be heard from ever again. I mean, I heard from her on Facebook later, but she left. She just pieced the fuck out and left. And so he, of course, was like, yay, she's gone. And so he started to throw away my garden stuff as well as hers. And I was like, and he basically gave me an ultimatum. He was like, you need to remove all of the dirt. We had brought in like 5 yards of good soil. You need to remove all. Bacchus, I'm doing great. I'm telling a long, very dramatic gardening stories. This is like as dramatic of a gardening story as you can possibly get. So he told me I had to remove all the dirt that I'd brought in. Because I was still the person living there, I had to basically clean up her mess. So I had to hand dig out 5 yards of dirt and transport it out of there. I had to move these giant freaking pots, which I ended up keeping, so I guess I kind of got the good deal of it. So I had to move all of the stuff out of there. And there was probably 24 pots. And then now I had all these containers of, plastic containers of dirt that I had to use to get it out of there. And I had to store it somewhere. So at the time, I worked at a landscaping construction company. And so I asked my boss, I was like, hey, can I store this at the yard temporarily? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's totally fine. So I literally moved my garden to the yard. My snap peas, all the stuff I'd planted, right? And this was probably spring, summer, early summer, like spring-ish, right? So I'd planted all this stuff. She'd planted all this stuff. So I have all this stuff at the yard. And my freaking coworkers are like eating my food. I'm like, it was so embarrassing. Like it was a very strange situation because literally my garden suddenly was in public domain, like the things I'd planted. So they're like nibbling on like the snap peas and stuff, but they were kind of impressed. I think it did get me a little bit of street cred with some of my coworkers. They're like, oh shit, she knows what she's doing. So anyway, then, are you guys ready for this? I don't think you were ready for how dramatic a homeless garden could be. So, my boss's wife. I did, Bane. Okay, well, hold on. We'll pause before the second iteration of homeless garden. All right, let's pause at bad landlord. So I put up with him for 3 years. For 3 years, I put up with that. And I was the person that was mediating. Oh, yes, what do you want? Just tell us what you want. Okay. I'm just, if you want us to take it, I'll take it. I was the person that was very calm and everything. And I had this little area behind. I was the only apartment that had a little, like, it was literally 4 or 5 feet between the back of the apartment building and the fence. And this guy, literally, he could not have anything except gravel and oleanders. He would freak out if there was dirt. He was that bad. He was really bad. So there was gravel back there, and it was my own personal area. So I had like my bike. I had a bike cover, like, to keep it dry. I had, some planters and a couple little things like outdoor stuff, right? My tools. One day, so my grandfather died, and he was very important in my life. We can get in, that's a whole side story, but anyway, he was a very important person in my life. He was very close, near and dear to my heart. He passed away. and I did not take it well. My boss wouldn't give me time off to go back for the memorial or anything. And so I was trying to process it, and I wasn't doing very well, and I was just a mess, right? And I came out one day, and I was just in that fog of post-death, and I come out to the garbage cans, which were, out back, shared garbage cans. And I go to put something into the recycling, probably like beer bottles or something, right? Because we all drink a lot when we have to deal with death. And I look at, on top of the recycling bin is some items. And I'm like going and I look, and all of a sudden I realize it's my stuff. And the landlord's standing right there. And he's throwing away my stuff. I fucking lost it, you guys. I have never gotten that mad before in my life, and I probably will never get that mad since. It was not only, it wasn't really mad, it was the definition of fight or flight. So I got that adrenaline rush. I like freaked out. I was like, holy shit. And I all I didn't even say anything to him. I know, exactly, Team Rocket's highly illegal. I did look into legal action. I couldn't find any way to press legal action against him. I really did. I looked into all these different forms. So all I did is I grabbed the couple of things that I could, and I walked back towards my apartment, right? And he started following me. And again, this is someone who like would take up hours of your time talking about nothing, and I had spent hours of my life mediating and talking to this guy and trying to be nice to him and trying to like figure out what he wanted, all this stuff, right? Yeah, you had to do that. Civil suit. Yeah. Yeah, Bane, you probably would have killed him. So I walk in and we had like security screen doors, and so what I ended up doing most of the time is I would just lock the security screen door, and so the cats could sit at the door and everything, and I'd leave my front door open. So it was just automatic, right? I walk into the house and he's following me and he's going, boss, and I'm like, I can't deal with this right now, right? I walk in and I like lock, lock the thing, but I didn't close the front door, and I just walked in and I like walked in my kitchen, and he's following me. He's at the door and he's like banging on the door. And he's like, boss, come back here. You can't walk away from me. Like getting in my face about it, right? And I'm just like, I went into my kitchen and I'm like standing there just panicking, right? Just like, what do I do? And he's just like hounding me from the door. And finally I was just like, fuck it. And I walked straight up to the door. I unlocked it. Of course it opened out. I opened it out and I came out and I just was like, it is not okay to throw away someone's stuff without talking to them. This is not okay with me that you're doing this. And he's like, oh, well, and he's like, he could not. And I ripped into him. I'm like, I have spent hours trying to get from you what you want. I pay rent. That is my things. You're not allowed, and I let him have it. Like full volume, full, like direct, like, you better fucking stay out of my shit, just like, this is my space, I've had enough. And so apparently yes, right, mate? I know, never make boss mad. It takes a lot. It's very difficult to make me mad, very difficult. So apparently, I was really good friends with the neighbor on the other side of my fence. They were this really lovely couple with 2 kids and really sweet, and hated my landlord because he was creepy. He'd sit on the other side of the fence and like look in and stuff. Anyway, so apparently my neighbor was outside gardening and he heard it and he saw him like scrabble into the corner. Like the furthest corner. He had this like weird shed thing, like one of the units that wasn't a unit anymore, that he like had his like junk in, because he was a hoarder too. He had like so much random shit. Anyway, so apparently he was like cowering in the corner of the yard, and he tried to talk to my neighbor, and my neighbor just laughed in his face. He's just like, you just got told off by a girl, like by a little skinny girl, like, Really, dude? You know, like, you deserve tits. I was just like, oh man. So anyway, I did look into it. There's like an advocacy program for renters in this area. I described the situation, and they basically said that with what I had, there wasn't any way I could pursue it. And I wish I did have a good friend or enough money to hire a lawyer, because I would have, because it was harassment. There was a lot of stuff that just was really bad there. Right, Bacchus, yes, you're really lucky. And of course my mom's friend was reporting back to her like, oh, your daughter is just terrible, and you know, we did something out of kindness for you, and my mom's like, what are you talking about? She's like, one of the most responsible people I know. I don't understand what's going on here. Mr. Cupcake Man, yeah, it was really bad. It was like yeah, luckily I'm grounded enough. I didn't murder him. But anyway, so the garden is homeless. Back to the garden story. That's the epic thing of why I love where I live, and I'm glad my landlord is hands off. Sometimes it's annoying, but you know what? When something needs fixing, they show up, and otherwise they leave me the F alone, and I love it. They're amazing. I've never had a problem with another landlord other than that. My landlord before him, she literally told me, she's like, I'm gonna miss you. You are the best tenant I've ever had. If you ever come back to Eugene, please call me. And I was like, oh, okay, right? Yeah, it's not murder unless you get caught. Exactly, Harvey, exactly. So anyway, my garden gets moved to my workplace, all right? Are you guys ready? This was a very dramatic period of my life. There was a lot of stuff going on. It made for a lot of good stories. A lot of good stories come from this era. It was not fun to live through, but it was quite a good story creating era. So we had this property that my boss owned and had owned for years upon years, decades upon decades, however long, a long time. So in the US, we have cities and counties, right? And the states. So the city line was literally at the fence. So we were one property in. So if the county line had been on the other side, we would have been in the county, but we were in the city. And he should not have been running a business like he was. That was a commercial, landscaping, whatever, zoning thing that he was doing on that property. Okay? Thank you, Bane. Thank you. Yes, me too. I am grateful every day. Like when I'm out in the garden, like when I'm out in my garden and it's my garden and I can do whatever the heck I want out there, I am just so happy every time. I'm just like, oh, you know, when I moved in here, it was a little slice of heaven. So anyway, the property was not zoned to be what it was, and we'd gotten away with it for however many years that the boss had the business there. But he kept pissing off the neighbor, right? If you're gonna do illegal shit, make sure you're friends with your neighbors. It's boss tip of the night. And I mean, it wasn't like illegal, but it was, because he wasn't supposed to be having that business there. So finally, the neighbor got fed up with getting woken up at like 6 a.m. to weed eaters being turned on, 5 or 6 trucks going on. And the thing that broke the neighbor, and I'm still bitter about this, is my boss's wife. I'm still very bitter about this. I'll have to go to therapy, talk to a therapist at some point about this, because I'm sure it's a deep-seated issue. I'm joking, but you know, anyway. My boss's wife, who didn't do any, I mean, she did raise the kids, and that is a very important job. But her mom actually raised the kids. So her mom was the one that raised the kids, and I'm coming back around. I know, the seed of the story. We're coming back around to this, okay? So the boss's wife was basically making money off of all of us. So all of the money that the company earned went to her. I was getting paid the equivalent of $11 an hour, which was probably lower than minimum wage. Bending over backwards working there. All the guys worked ridiculously long hours, got paid nothing, had no benefits, no health benefits, no retirement, nothing, right? At the time. They've since kind of updated it. The last Christmas I was there, She got a brand new Mercedes, huge house on the hill. You know, like all the money was going to his wife. He was not benefiting from it. All the money the company was earning was going to his wife. So his wife decided she always wanted to own a winery. Okay, you guys ready for this? So, her husband planted the grapes. Our guys harvested, tended, kept up the vineyards, did everything, helped produce, you know, stamped down, did the whole thing with the wine production. And she would show up for the photo ops. She'd be there like, oh, look, you know, we're harvesting grapes. Ah, you know. And she made a big deal about it being, you know, a very family-oriented business. And she grew up with her dad in the fields, and that's why she wanted a winery. But she never got her hands dirty. She never gave back. She never talked to any of us. Yes, that should be a quote. That should be a quote, Team Rockets. That should be. So anyway, I'm still quite bitter. I do admit that. So this particular spring day, the bottling line, so there's these mobile bottling lines that'll show up that'll bottle your wine if you're a smaller winery and you don't have the equipment, showed up at 5 a.m. and turned on the generator. And this is in a residential neighborhood. And the neighbor who had been complaining forever and ever and ever was like, I'm done. I'm done, right? This is the theme. I'm done. So he called the county. He got people out there, or the city, because we were in city limits. Yeah, that's it. So he called the city, got them out there. They came out, and they gave my boss basically like, I think 30 days notice, 30 or 60 day notice to move out. They're like, you have to move, you know, this is illegal. We are going to fine you or whatever. I think they did fine him. But they're like, you have to move off this property. You can't be doing this. This is, you know, we've warned you before. You're still doing it. Your neighbor reported it. So suddenly, the company I work for is homeless. So we move everything to my boss's house, including my garden. Okay? So my garden is homeless twice, all right? So I had to move it off of the place where I lived. Then I moved it to the yard. Then we got kicked out. Sleeping Cat Studios getting a plant named after you. Thank you for redeeming your hard-earned channel points on that. So now the business is homeless, which is where everything went wrong. This is when I installed Elite Dangerous on my computer, my work computer. So suddenly my garden is at my boss's house, and by house I mean gigantic mansion, where all the money that the company made went. And there was like a mother-in-law unit where his mother-in-law, his wife's mom, lived, and his mother-in-law took care of his kids, and he had 2 older kids, like kind of young preteen teens at the time, and then like a surprise third, and she was fantastic. Very strong-willed, brilliant little kid. And every now and then I'd be down there gardening, you know, tending to my stuff. And she would come up and she'd be like, what are you doing? You know, and I was like, oh, I'm doing this. And so, full circle, back to the seed of the story. One day I was out there and I pulled up a carrot while she was there. And I pulled up a carrot. And I showed her, and she's like, oh, it's a carrot. And she's like, can I eat it? And I was like, yeah, but you have to go wash it off. And so she goes to like we wash it off, and she tries it, and her face, like, it was the most magical thing for her to like pull the carrot out, realize she could eat it, and eat it, right? You know, wash it off and eat it. Her grandmother was pissed. Like, and her grandmother never talked to me, by the way. Her grandmother never talked to me. She would always like evil eye me, like I'm keeping an eye on you, you know, and she'd be watching me, and it was not a great place to have my garden. But she got pissed. She's like, you know, you shouldn't have, you know, like, it's a carrot out of the ground. It's the most, like, the healthiest thing ever, right? Swing left and then start to turn to get back on row. Okay, I'll try that on the next one. Swing left and then try and then go back. I mean, like a 3-point turn, right, me too? Yes, exactly, Doc Starbucks. So it was a homeless garden residing inside a homeless landscaping business. And this is like where things went downhill at that company, and where I was like, this is no longer a healthy place for me to be working. So where I lived wasn't healthy, where I worked wasn't healthy. And then I finally found this place, and I got my own business, and it's been amazing ever since. And I'm very lucky. So okay, so you said go left. Swing left and then start your turn. You mean like, in this case, probably right and then start the turn? Like this? Okay. And then on the other end, it would be swing left and then right. Okay. I was like, wait, okay, I got it. All right, I got this. So yeah, it was like a year and a half. My boss literally had pissed off. It's a small town and it's a small county, and people get to know you. So apparently, on building the giant mansion for his wife, he pissed off the county and everybody in the planning department. So he hired a company that went out to find him a piece of property that was zoned for both his wife's winery and our landscaping business. I'm actually gonna... Sorry, I like totally went in a different way because I was gonna go back for this row right here. This little tiny bit, but then we'll try the technique. Oh no! You know what? I'm gonna use that as my tagline, Melter Snowflakes. My stories are so entertaining that you will miss a live cop chase in LA. Oh no. Grand Theft Auto IRL! Let's just make sure we got this. Harvey, yeah, that's a good question. Melter, were you supposed to be in the chase? Yeah. I feel like it should be like, you know, I should do that YouTube thing where you pop up the comments, you know, on the screen. 10 out of 10 would miss a car chase for this stream. Let me just get this little bit here, because I can see the shadows. I'm just going to kind of clean up my edges here. We're going to go for the last little bit. It's going to be great. Back of book reviews. Yes! Yes! Back of book reviews. Oh, the way they do it down there is only a left turn, then go row 1, then go row 4. Ah, yeah, almost, and that's smart to do every other, and then you go back. I've tried to do that, but I find that it gets so helter-skelter. Maybe that's like the advanced proper method, and maybe one day I will be worthy of it. Oh, man. So the boss hired a company to find him a property that was properly zoned. They found him a piece of property. And it had 15 acres of grapes. And so he ripped out like 5 acres to put the shop in. He ended up choosing the wettest part of the property to put the shop in. He filled in with like 500 yards of gravel, which is super illegal. Gravel and dirt. If you have anything over 50 yards, you have to get a permit. He filled in probably a wetland, which is also super illegal. So by the time the county inspector came out, they were already really pissed with him. And the neighbors got up in arms. The new neighbors got up in arms because they didn't want a winery on their road, because they had kids and stuff and they didn't want drunk people driving by on their road. So they impeded everything. One of his neighbors knew the person on the planning commission, so they railroaded any attempts to get the winery to go through. So the winery wasn't able to be on the property. And technically, the zoning wasn't actually right for our business. So it was okay if we were doing vineyard work, but it wasn't okay if we were doing like landscaping work. So I would have to hide if I was on the property in my office, There was no bathroom, there was no electricity, and there was no running water to start with, right? Because it was just a property. So I'd be on site and we'd have like a porta potty, but the guys would use the porta potty to go number 2 every morning before they started work. And I was like, I'm not using that disgusting like bomb of a bathroom, right? Yep. Yeah, we had a honey bucket basically, but it was like the go-to. I don't know what those guys ate, but anyway, I'd rather use the field. Let's be honest. I'm a country girl. I'd rather use the field. Did we get all of it out? No, we didn't. Darn it! All right. Well, I'm gonna drive the combine over to the farm, and I'll come back for this. Yeah, probably lots of beans and chili. Yeah, exactly. So I would have to hide if the inspector came by, and of course everybody was really excited that we had the shop. He went all out, like big old industrial building, you know. And again, we didn't get any raises. We didn't see any of this, right? He spends all this money on this new piece of property, big old building. And so they had like the TV box because they were going to put the TV up so they could watch soccer games, football games and stuff. And the inspector at one point, I was standing there during this particular one. He points to it. He's like, really? Is that for agricultural work? And it was like, he would be looking at my boss and he's like, I know what you're doing. You know, like it was communicated, except he wouldn't directly say it. And my boss would kind of be like, oh no, this is just for vineyard stuff. And he's like, really, you need, and he'd point to some of our landscaping equipment. And it's like, he's like, yeah, that's for vineyard stuff. And the guy's like, really, you're not pulling this one over on me. So finally, after like a year and a half, we got the like permit to be able to have the business there. By then, it was kind of cool. I got to help like fish the line for like 500 feet for the high voltage wire and stuff. I got to help out with like the electrician on site. And anyway, it was kind of cool seeing it built from scratch. But they built like a 500-foot long road through an easement that they got to another property to the highway. And they did it in the middle of winter. And if you build roads, you have to engineer them properly, because if you do it in the middle of winter, they don't stay steady. So it kept sinking. They kept just throwing more gravel on it. The electrician was not cute, unfortunately. No. Some of my coworkers were, though. That was a whole different era of my life. There's a whole, you have to redeem another boss story if you want to hear about that stuff. No, we're only talking about homeless gardens and homeless businesses today. Oh, let's turn off the harvester. It'll probably go faster. Let's harvest some deer! Oh my god! The deer is literally in there. Yeah, exactly, right? Okay. We're good. I wonder if I can just offload straight from this into the silo. Yeah. That's why they call it John Deere. Oh gosh! That person there, we're not gonna talk about that. I like how Shreddy, you can tell Shreddy's tired. She's sleeping through all this excitement. Yeah, wreck that car. Wreck it! Let's not get caught on the bridge, though. Insurance claim incoming. What are you talking about? So yeah, the final thing that snapped me was like, it was a particularly wet, rainy winter. And my boss was like, well, we don't have any work, so I can't quite justify keeping you on. And I was like, but you just bought your wife a Mercedes, like, SUV for Christmas. It's like, well, I just can't trust you. You have a password on your computer. Aha. Okay. So that is the story of how Boss Lady got her business and found a home for her garden. See, I just don't think, I think with everything else that's here, I don't think I'm going to be able to offload. There we go. Well, look at that. We got every little bit of corn off of this field, and we're going to do them dirty shortly. This is going to be fantastic. Oh, Bacchus. The stories I could tell. Yes. Yes. Practicing office security is a fireable offense. Yes, because he lost trust. So I was listening to this. This was a really interesting. I was listening to this book, and I forget what it's called. If I could improve something about myself, and this is a lifelong wish, I wish I could remember names of things. There's probably a word for people who can't remember names of things as well. I can remember facts, I can remember the story about it, but I can't remember the specific name of it. So there's it's like a kind of confirmation bias, but it's specifically a confirmation bias to do with interpersonal relationships. And the example of that is this, right? So my boss didn't trust anybody. He didn't trust anybody. Like, at some point or another, he would lose trust in his workers, me, whatever. Somebody. He would lose trust, and he'd start acting really, really weird. Like, I'd seen him do it with a number of the guys, and then he started doing this with me. Like, he just started acting squirrely and avoiding me and just being really weird. And then that leads to the person doing the thing, right? Right? I am Bacchus. The hay heist went fantastic. But this is our second heist in a row, so we're gonna play it cool after this one, because, you know, 2 times we can explain, 3 times, yeah. So we're gonna do some easy jobs, maybe like fertilizing or cultivating. Well, yes, paranoia is exactly his thing. But no, so you know when someone starts treating you like a dick, like you're an asshole, and they treat you like that, you end up acting that way. That's basically, there's a name for that. So, because he didn't trust me, not to say this is the excuse, but because he didn't trust me, I started doing sketchy things. Like, I would be like, no, you can't have the password to my computer or my phone. I can set up an account that you can get into the computer and use the computer on a general account, but no, you can't have my password. And that made him uncomfortable. It made him not trust me because he thought I was hiding something. Now, this is the funny thing, because you guys will appreciate this. The thing I was hiding is that I had downloaded Steam and I had been playing Elite Dangerous on the computer when it was at my house in my free time. So it would be like, I should have just deleted Steam and then unpassworded the computer. But again, it was like a thing with boundaries for me. I was like, I have this boundary, and he was pushing against that boundary, and I was like, no, this is my boundary. I have my own little space. This is my own little bit. I have my privacy. Like, there's nothing on there that isn't being shared, right? Like, he knows everything that's going on, and everything that's going on is public. Yeah, right? Commander, little cold rock hard heart. Yes, I know. Mm-hmm. Really? Yes, Bane is correct. Please find a job where people treat you like people. It's very important. It is. Oh, did that wake you up? Was that the part that woke you up? Is that the part that woke up? Oh, look at this face. Look at this cute, sweaty face. Yes, we got little purrs going on. Got little sweaty purrs going on. Yes, kitty agrees. Yeah. But, you know, it's just kind of one of those things, like, if you don't trust people, and then you're gonna see people acting in a distrustful way, you know, it's like, it's the confirmation bias. It's like expecting something, and therefore you see it. Like, I had nothing to hide other than Elite Dangerous that I'd play on my breaks and stuff, you know? Like, I wasn't doing anything else. But with full authenticity, boss can be a sneaky girl too, alright? So, I was just telling, you know, it's like when you tell stories, you're like, oh, why am I telling this story? So, I was actually telling the story this weekend, so it's fresh on my mind. When I entered into my contract, do you think about this? Because it's one of those things, when you're first starting a job, you don't really you don't think about some of these things. So Mama Boss, her career was as a transition consultant, as a career counselor for a while, as a trainer for people in outplacement. She wrote material for a big corporate company. And she would walk people through how to negotiate when you get a new job and all this stuff. So, like, I knew better. But, first job out of college, I was just really happy. It was in the area I wanted to live in, and I was just like, oh, that sounds great. But one of the things I negotiated in my contract, I was salaried. I was the only salaried employee in the company. And he just didn't, like, to give the man the benefit of the doubt. He was a really nice guy, but to give the man a benefit of the doubt, he just didn't know what to do, what salaried meant. He only had hourly workers. He himself had only been an hourly worker, so he didn't understand what that meant. But I negotiated as part of the contract that I got an hour lunch. And per state, and I think national requirements, I believe, maybe it's state requirements, you have to have 2 10-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch. That's by law, you have to have that. So I had 2 10-minute breaks and an hour lunch. So of course for the first year I was new on the job and I was like, whatever, I'll work as much as you need me. I'll do as much as you know, like I was very eager and happy to do anything, right? So I would skip lunch all the time. I would skip my breaks. I would be running around in the field, checking in on different jobs, going to different meetings, out in the field all the time, grabbing a soda or candy at a gas station, and like that's how I lived my life basically for 3 or 4 years. So by the end, when things were starting to get really bad, I was like, you know what? I need to take care of myself. Like my truck was breaking down because I was using it for work, wasn't getting paid for that. I was tired and exhausted and stressed because all of the stress of the company was on my shoulders. None of the power. I had none of the power, but I had all the responsibility. I was just super stressed. So I was like, I need to do something. I need to kind of do something for me. So I signed up and I started doing Pilates 6 days a week. And I was the happiest and in the best shape of my life. So every day I would find a time, and of course they didn't have classes at the same time every day, which sucked, but I would take my hour lunch and the 2 10 minutes, right, to drive there. If technically I'd been at the office, which usually I wasn't at the office, I was out doing things. So I took an hour and 20 minutes and I took an hour for Pilates every day. My boss figured it out and he didn't like it. And he was like, this isn't okay. This isn't our agreement. Our agreement is not for you to take off halfway through the day and go work out. And I was like, but it's my hour lunch and my 2 20-minute breaks. He's like, that's not how it works. And that was it. I was like, well, okay, come on. I'm a salaried employee, but I'm required to be here at 7 a.m. through 5 p.m. every day of the week. 7 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I can't take my lunch when I want to take my lunch. Even if it doesn't affect any meetings, it doesn't, it was just like, I'm done. Hard workers get shit on, slow workers get a pass. Well, you know what I found, Bane, is a lot of my coworkers, what my coworkers would do is they would threaten to leave. They'd threaten to leave. They'd say, sorry, I got a better job offer. It's this much money. They'd threaten to leave, and then he would pay them more than what they were saying they were going to get offered by the other person, and he would keep them on as employees. And they would get the raises. They would get paid more. And then, yeah, I mean, it worked. It worked. And also, I had to be in the room when he fired people, and he would give them severance checks. When I got fired, it was on a day that it was a rainy day and no people were at the yard. No severance check. Shady shit. Shady shit. But yes. You have to stand up for yourself is what I would say. Like coming out of it and looking back at it, I should have negotiated. I should have said, after the first 3 or 4 months, instead of waiting for the yearly review, I should have said, look, this is how many, the last year I was there, I brought in $1 million or so in gross profit in the estimates that I put together. I met the client, I put the estimate together, I managed the projects. He was hands off for the entire year, right? He was popped in every now and then just to create chaos. He was too busy worrying about his wife's winery and building her a tasting room and stuff. So I should have sat down and said, hey, I brought in $1 million this year. I would like a commission on that. Like, even like 0.01%. I would like a commission on the amount of sales that I'm making. I would like a raise. Or, you know, I should have... It's my responsibility, and it was my responsibility to stand up for myself, which I didn't do at the time. That's kind of the lesson I learned, though, both with the crazy landlord and the boss. I was like, I learned that I needed to stand up for myself, and I needed to basically start my own company. It's going pretty well, because I met you guys! If I hadn't started my own company, I wouldn't be streaming, and we wouldn't be here today. Probably. Harvey, that's honestly, it's probably true. So we do have ombudsmans for like people in care homes, but that's a good question. That's true. That's a really interesting... Doc Starbucks points something out. More agreeable people are less likely to get paid more because less agreeable people will create the tension and ask for raises. That's a good point. That's actually a really good point, because people that are not afraid to make the friction... I could put it on the other side, like not just not agreeable, but people that are willing to be vulnerable, because it's a risk. It's a risk. You have to be kind of vulnerable to ask for raise, because you're risking rejection. So there's kind of the other side of it, which is like, instead of playing it safe and protecting my ego or my feelings, I should have asked, because what's the worst that could have happened? You could have said no, right? But at least I would have asked. And then I could have said, well, I asked. I presented a good point to him about how much money I was making his company. Obviously, I'm sure they did fine in the long run, but the year after I left, it was bad. Because he wasn't running the company, and that was a lot to take over. Yes, it's true. Yes. Yeah, why do you think they tell you what not to? Well, that's the biggest thing, is my coworkers were so shocked, because they're like, oh, boss, like, you're Miss highfalutin, you know, designer lady. You're getting paid lots of money. And I'm like, I have to be here at 7. I have to leave at 5. I rarely get lunches or breaks. Do the math. This is how much I get paid. It's a flat fee. Yeah, I got paid, I think, $40,000. 40,000. The price of living here was probably like 45,000 a year. Let's be honest, with rent and everything in this area of the world. So I was literally, I think I was bringing in enough to cover my bills, all my bills, and have $20 left over each paycheck. So I had $40 a month that was discretionary funds. This is not going into savings. This is like checks for bills, rent, food, living at like, you know, minimum amount of food. And I had like $40 left over for like going to the movies every now and then, or, you know, this and that. Interesting. And really, assertiveness training. Well, yeah. I can say that. I took a self-defense class. The self-defense class is the thing that kicked this off for me. As weird as that is to say, isn't that strange? I took a self-defense class, and they were talking about how to set boundaries as like a person, right? In physical situations. And I was like, bing! All my boundaries are getting trampled in this situation with this work thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm allowed to say that's not okay. Yeah, that's kind of how it went. Pearson is quite an interesting guy to listen to. Yeah, I feel like I've listened to some of his stuff. All right, so we just finished the contract. We have all of the corn stored in our granary. Now, this is the moment of crime. You feeling okay, sweet? She's like, I'd feel better if you weren't booping my nose. Okay. Contract. All right, so here's our Oh, there's another bailing contract. Oh, it's so tempting. It's so tempting, you guys. All right, so we harvested the field. You see it's 84% done. All right, we haven't taken the corn. All right, we haven't turned it in. Simplex, welcome on in. Welcome in. All right, so we're going to cancel this. We're going to cancel this contract. You ready? So wait. How much were we going to make? Hold on. We were going to make 8,000. All right. Cancel contract. Yes. Okay. Collect. I don't think we had anything, but all the borrowed items are gone. Okay. Now let's just back up. And let's fill. Where's our corn? Where's our corn? Where is it? Okay, there's the corn. 65,000 tons of stolen corn! Yes, we were on field 69. I know, Bacchus. It was nice. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see where we're going to go sell our corn. Okay. Is this the one that's the train? I know one of these is the train. I'm not sure how that works, so we might have to figure this out if it is. Goldcrest Valley. Let's see. Where's blinking? Yeah, that's the train. I'm not up for learning that tonight. Let's go to the next best one. Let's go next best, which is Feed and Grain South, which is where they wanted us to go for the mission. Okay. Which is which direction? Where is it? I mean, I'm guessing it's somewhere to the south. Maybe I can't see it. Ah, there it is. Okay. Making curry? All right. Ooh, sounds good. Yes, Simplex Pachinko. I've gone over to the dark side. We've stolen corn. We've stolen hay. Robert, you see your girl? Hold on. Robert's here. We gotta show full screen. Show his girl full screen. Oops, we don't need the loading bar anymore. Swing. She's like, I don't know about that. Get a little bit of chin scratches. Get a little bit of chin scratches. She's like, maybe. Just a little bit. She's so pretty, I know. She's so sweepy. So sweepy. Here we go. The mystery of the missing maze. Exactly. The mystery of the missing maze. Wilson, I'm glad you're enjoying story time. I do enjoy telling it too. So I'm glad you enjoy the antics of both younger boss and current boss. We try and entertain. Should probably get a bigger trailer. Well, once I get my why do I only have $1,000, you guys? Where did all my money go? Oh no! Maybe they dinged me for stealing the corn. Oh no! We had like 47. Oh, maybe did we buy something? No. I don't think we bought anything. Did they find me? Did they? Oh no! They're on to me. They're on to me. Maybe we can only steal hay. Oh no. Did you rent? I did. Well, I borrowed the equipment, which maybe the payment came out of that. Usage fees? Maybe. Uh-oh! Ah! Run! Almost got taken out. Almost got taken out by the train. Ah. Yeah, that was some interesting era. Oh, that makes sense. Dang it, maybe our life of crime has come to an end. It seems like Maeve, or Mavia? Mavia? Is that how I pronounce your name? Mavia? I think with the sillage it doesn't. Maybe that's just like a little loophole or something, or maybe I just hadn't noticed it before. But that's good. I'm glad that that is implemented, because otherwise it would be way too easy to do this. Our life of crime may be coming to an end. We found out about that, or we found out about the hay on accident. I like canceled the contract because I was learning the game and I didn't quite know what was going on. I don't know. So I think we did like five or six loads. We'll see. We'll see how we end up. So that one load of corn was how much they would have paid us. No. Yeah, maybe the hay fine was too small to notice. Maybe. Oh, maybe that was for the insurance on the car that I skewered with the corn harvester? Probably. Probably. I had to buy him a whole new car. Oh man. There were some fun times. The nicest thing I have to say since I started my own company is I get to choose the clients. I get to say no to projects. And generally speaking, it goes really well. I've only had 1 or 2 people that went nutter butter on me. And that was totally for no reason of my own. And it's fantastic because I used to have to be, I was basically like the complaints department. I was basically the complaints department of the landscaping company. I would get the calls of like people freaking out about something that either my boss had done or the guys had done, and I'd have to like talk them down, find a solution, strong arm either the guys or my boss into making it right. Like if you guys were here for the epic Rose story, I like that's definitely one of my favorites. That's nothing gets better than that. But yeah, in like a mental health department, it was rough. But again, like if I had been a shitty worker, going back to that principle, if I had been a shitty worker and I just didn't give a shit, like I didn't care. Danny, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in to the Boss Bar. Welcome in. Sit back, relax, have a drink. So if I hadn't cared, it wouldn't have been a bad thing, right? Like, cause I could have come to work and I would have got the complaints and I would have been like, whatever, I don't care. But I took it like I had personal pride. I was like, I want to make sure that I do right by the client and I have ethics and values. I don't do things illegal except in video games when I steal corn. Shots! I did drink a lot. I literally, when I quit that job, I lost 15 pounds. By the end, I was like, guys, like every day after work, I'd be like, you guys, happy hour, meet me at the deli. And we just sit there and the guys would buy like 2 18ers. We'd just pound beer all night. Not the healthiest lifestyle, okay? Let's just put it that way. The FBI is on to me. No! They're gonna find my illegal corn action. Oh no. My corn racket. It sounds pretty healthy. Yeah, right, Sir Cupcake? Yeah, an 18er a week, I think. An 18er or 2 a week. Yeah, it was not good. Not good in the slightest. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Isn't that normal? No, 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 it's not normal. That is shucking. Wait, why am I going over here? The corn's back, you guys. What? I just cut all this corn down. What? I've been going back and forth to this this field so much. Note to self, never use the phrase illegal corn action. It's my corn racket. So we had almost 50,000 when we started. We got fined. We got fined a lot. So we'll see if we like break even on our heist. I do. I steal corn on the side. With a C. Get your minds out of the gutter. Theft recovery. Theft recovery. Oh man. Oh my goodness. So speaking of the gutter, you guys ready? So this is like, you know, all these stories are connected to each other, right? It's like it's like the domino effect, right? You start with one, then you go to the next. So the crazy lady that lived across, and I apologize, I would like to speak of mental illness for a second. So there's mental illness is a serious thing and it affects a lot of people and probably a lot of you guys, and I'm not making light of that, right? Like, I'm specifically this situation with the individual. She was batshit crazy and she had very bad ethics, and she was quite an entertaining person to tell stories about, and she's in a better place now. Okay, so I'll put that little caveat in there because I'm not judging her for that, but I'm judging her for the choices she made in her life. So she had a grown son who was in the military. Her husband, so she'd been a single mom for most of her life, and then married her husband. They had lived in the house across from me, or the apartment across from me, for like 15 years. 15 years, something like that. So during the time that I knew her, and again, my mom's friend, who was the wife of the landlord, was the one that was like, "Oh, you two have lots in common. You guys should get together, right? You should garden together. You should be friends." And I'm like, okay. She did introduce me to some cool stuff. She took me to this really great spot by Pots, not pot, but Pots. So she was a really cool friend for the first year. Two stories. These are connected, and they are in the gutter. Are you ready? So, about a year and a half into knowing her, she starts to share with me that she's joined some swinger parties. And she starts telling me about these random people that she's meeting up with. Who knows? Again, it could have been a figment of her imagination, or it could have been real. I did see pictures. And I was like, this is really strange, right? Like, you know, you're married, you live with your husband, all this stuff, right? And I was like, okay, this is a little bit strange. But she's telling me all these stories. I'm like, I don't want to know this. Not the kind of person that you would want to picture in these situations. You know, I was just like, nope, don't really want to know. Yeah, exactly, melted snowflakes. And I was like, I don't really want to know this. So then I used to go back to Washington for holidays and, you know, to visit my mom. And one trip, because either I would road trip in the summer, so I'd take the cats with me in the summer, but if I went back for like Christmas or Thanksgiving or something like that, I asked her to take care of the cats because she liked cats and all this stuff. Yeah, not a GMILF. No. She has her own, there is a special category that she does fit into that is some people's thing. Of course, I wouldn't know about that because I don't know about those sorts of things. But anyway, I came back from my trip. All right, are you guys ready? Literally, this is the same place with the crazy landlord. Yeah. Delete your history! Exactly. Incognito windows. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Robert. Not the, oh yeah, baby swingers. The, oh dear goodness swingers. Exactly. Yeah, that kind. So, and her husband was not knowledgeable about this, and this is where I'm not okay with it. If both parties are in on something and they agree to it and there's open communication, I am all for it. Her husband didn't know, so she was cheating on him with a lot of people, a lot of random people, and that's not okay. So I went away on a trip, and she had taken care of the cats a couple times. I come back, and my house was disgusting. Disgusting. The litter box had not been cleaned for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. She had put one of the litter boxes out in the back, and like it had rained in it with all the cat stuff in it. Everything was knocked on the ground. Everything was like a mess. She blamed it on the cats. She said the cats had made the mess. Everything was just like strewn around. Yeah, basically, yeah, cat cement. Yeah, Robert, exactly. Cat cement. There were like those cheap candles you get at the grocery store, like the cheap scented candles strewn all over my house. Are you ready for the cherry on top? I wish I could see you guys' face. I wish I could see your face when I tell you this. I go to like make my bed because my bed is unmade. And a tube of KY jelly lube falls onto the floor. I don't use KY jelly lube. Well, at the time, did not own any. Yeah. I was like, oh, gross. So either A, she had a lot of fun with herself in my bed. B, she had other people over, random other people over into my house in my bed. Across, literally like 6 feet across, like our windows were right across from each other. It wasn't like one apartment here, one across, like across from her husband. Like he could have been sitting like in the house across the way with his it was so bad. And this is why I moved. I know, right? Right? You need an adult, right? I know, Melter Snowflakes. We need an adult. Seriously. I'm glad you appreciate it. I was mortified. Like, just thinking about it now. The moral of the story, I hope you didn't keep it. Right? Yeah, I threw it away. I didn't give it back to her unlawful. I just threw it away. I was like, no. No. Yeah, right? So, were you guys, any of you guys that were here for the bed spring story? Okay, I know, like, some of you guys were here for the bed spring story. Same bed. You had to be here for the bed spring story. That's a whole different story thread. We don't want to cross over story threads, because, yeah. Gotta keep the story threads going. I know, I robbed the lady of her lube. But she deserved it. She deserved it, unlawful. She deserved to have to go spend another $5 to $10 on some more self-care products. Oh, God. Like, literally, it was just... That place was so bad. And so you think that this is like an isolated incident, but it isn't. Literally, those two people, and you know that people are complicit in this. So technically she's my godmother, which makes it all the worse. So like, baptized godmother, who is the wife of the guy that owned the property. But long story short, she hadn't been in my life. I hadn't really known her till I moved back here. She just creates drama. They have nothing, again, going back to the start of the stream, they don't have enough fucks to give about other things, right? Like, they just, I guess we'll be nice. We'll be nice and let them go around. We don't We don't want to bring undue attention to us because we have stolen corn. But like, she doesn't have enough in her life to care about that she, like, it's like their little kingdom, this apartment complex. And they create drama. Like, his son, not her son, but his son, so her husband's son, got into trouble or something, got kicked out, so they let him move into one of the apartments. He ended up, like, shoplifting from one of the grocery stores here in town and running from the cops, getting arrested. And she didn't feel comfortable. Okay, this is the shit that is super illegal, okay? And I'm just saying this. This is not me being involved. This is like her telling my mom, who didn't want to know, who told me. And she tells me these stories and she's like, it wasn't just you, honey. She does this to everybody. She creates this like little drama field and then this happens. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. So they were worried that he had... I forget what it was. They were worried that either he had weapons in his house or drugs or stolen things. This is after he got arrested and all that. So they let themselves in to his apartment. This is a grown-ass man, like a 40 or 50-year-old man. They let themselves into his apartment and searched his apartment while he was out. That shit is sketch. And if she did that to him, she probably did that to my house too. And I'm like, that stuff, that's really bad. That's the kind of stuff that still to this day goes on that property. And I'm like, like, I won't even drive by it. Like, my mom is still kind of friends with her, very, very distantly. And I'm like, I won't even, nope. I don't want to even hear that lady's name. I don't want to see her face. Oh God, ew. Ew, no. No, the stepson wasn't there at that time. But all her kids rent apartments there. She, like, goes in and, like, cleans their house for them while they're at work. And she's, like, oof, codependent on so many levels, right? But, yeah, I'm glad I don't... Oh, gosh! Oh, that's a train! I'm glad I don't live there anymore. You hate driving by there? Those are someplace? Yeah. My old high school's gone, which I'm kind of sad about. They demoed it and built a new one. But certain places do have bad memories for that. But yeah, it was just, oh God. It was so strange. The best thing though, okay, let's go back to the positives. So, my favorite part of living there, so these were little like, guest cottages that were then converted into apartments. So my little building had a shared wall, and the guy that shared the wall with me hopefully had good soundproofing. Who knows? He was this monk from, oh my gosh, Cambodian monk. And his wife had been my godmother's children's nanny, which is how he was connected into the whole thing. But Safal was fantastic. Safal didn't give a fuck. Safal didn't give a fuck at all. He barely spoke English. Little tiny, very, very adorable Cambodian guy. And he would just walk around in his, like, boxers. He didn't care. And he had the most beautiful garden, you guys. This is, again, in direct conflict with the landlord's craziness. He managed to have, like, a jungle. He had banana trees. He had a kefir lime. He had these huge planters of lemongrass that the cats love to eat. He had these bleeding hearts that would grow up to, like, 15 feet tall and just, like, spill over the walkways. And he would always, like, he would come home and he'd be like, oh, hi boss, I have some persimmons. And he'd just, like, leave them on my doorstep. Or I'd be like, oh, hey Safal, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, just, just hanging out and trimming my, garden. The nicest, most wonderful human being in the whole world. And he just peacefully and happily completely rebelled against everything. He didn't care. He didn't care. And he would just sit there and smile and nod when the landlord would go off on him about something. Just smile and nod. Yeah. Oh man. No, he practiced complete and utter ignoring. And it drove it, you know, landlord couldn't do anything about it cuz he was grandfathered in, like he couldn't kick him out. Yep. Detachment. Yeah, he didn't care. He was perfectly happy. Perfectly happy. Nothing bothered him. It was great. It was great. And I did love my neighbors, like, that I shared the fence with. They had this big old orange tree, and I'd have more oranges than I ever knew what to do with. That was cool. They were really sweet. Especially because we would have little, like, powwows out near my truck, like, because we'd be out, like, in the driveway, we'd be, like, shit-talking the landlord. Be like, oh, I hit him too. Yeah, oh, yeah, you hit him. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. Doc Starbucks is correct. The rules only apply to those that follow them. Except when you get fined for stealing corn. Dang it. There we go. So yeah, I think the two most entertaining periods of my life was on the island. Obviously, the island stories are always fantastic, and then the 3 or 4 years living in that place. Entertaining, not good for mental or physical health. Neither. There was also black mold in the place. That was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Yes. You can only shame me if I care about your opinion. Ooh, Team Rocket. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like how we're driving down the road without the cover covered up. We may have lost a couple corn kernels along the way. They may have blown away. Who knows? Yep. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna break even on this one. Ooh. We might have to go back to only being hay thieves. Only hay. Let's close our cover. Dirty. No, it's freshly aired out corn. Freshly aired out. Sky, how you doing? I mean, it's a lovely day for corn thievery. Just going for a drive. Nothing to see here. We're just an honest, hard-working corn thief. Rolling down the road. Ooh, it was Australia Day. Oh, that's nice. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it now. Sorry. I didn't pick that one up. Yes. Dirty corn. We have to launder our corn. That's why we put it in our corn silo, so that we could launder our corn. So it seems like legitimate corn, but if they trace it back, they're gonna find out it's really stolen corn. I took that corner a little bit too fast. So Beyond Aeon is saying, I think the only reason you can steal hay is because of the way you cut it and then turn it and then rake it and then bale it. So much process the game can't track. Ah. Okay, so hay is... It's because of all the different levels that you go to process it. Okay. Alright. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Robert says, so offering to harvest other farmers' corn, then stealing it, does that make you a corn artist? Yes. Boss Lady B, professional corn artist. Oh, my Lanta! Yep. And we're back. Welcome back, Sunflex. Ah, okay. If you spend the money before canceling the next contract, you will go to 0 or go negative money. You might be. You might be unlawful ruffle. You might be watching some pornography. Or corn mastery. It could be corn mastery. I hope you guys get as many funny puns for like each different crop that we do. Corn does seem specifically easy though. This plot is better than Ocean's 13. Yeah, it's better than Ocean's 8. I'm sorry, it didn't go over well. There's still maintenance? Oh no. Oh no. Still a better love story than Twilight's. Well, this one corn kernel met this other corn kernel, but they grew apart on different parts of the corn cob. And one day, Boss Lady came by to steal the corn, and that's when those two kernels of corn were finally reunited. But alas, they got dumped together into the granary and were lost in the silo. There we go. Was one of them a very sparkly vampire corn? Yes. One of them was glass gem corn. Alright, we're getting close, but we're still not back to where we were. Yeah. And one was a very hairy kernel of corn that sometimes turned into a popcorn, but then it would go back to a regular kernel of corn. And the broody corn kernel couldn't quite decide whether she wanted the sparkly one or the hairy one. But we all knew she was going to get together with the sparkly one because the hairy one was just too nice. And you know, it just doesn't work out that way. It is. It definitely is. That's a whole different thing. All the love goes to the popcorn. Never the mom corn. I know, right? You guys. So bad. Well, now that boss story time is over, what are we gonna talk about? Other than corn. I do have to say, I'm starting to reread the Wheel of Time series. I thought so. So it had been a long time when I watched the series. But I am a little bit peeved about what they do with the Gleeman. I am a little bit peeved. That is a key part of the story that got changed. And I'm like, Yep. You know what? Beyond Aeon, that will be a good story to redeem. So yeah, we have two story redemptions per stream. I did make them relatively cheap because I want anybody who's been around for a little bit to be able to redeem them, but I wanted people who have been here for a little bit, you know. Yep, thumb. Yeah. So Sir Cupcake Man, is that the thing that kind of got to you? Yep. Because I was like, So Cupcake was like, there's something that they did that really got to me, and I was like, I wonder what it was, and I bet that's it, because it's kind of like, grrr, grrr. Which part? Oh no. The change with the Gleeman between book and show. The fact that they change when he shows up and how he's involved and, you know, basically his entire story. But I still do really rather like it. And my problem, so I really love the Oceans movies. They're one of my favorite movies. I really, really like actually all three of them. I know, it's crazy. But I like Ocean's 11, obviously is the best. You can't do better than Ocean's 11. Ocean's 12 was entertaining. Ocean's 13 was starting to lose the plot a little bit there. Ocean's 8 was just so confusing because Oceans wasn't in it. Like, the whole part of what makes it what makes it what it is the characters. You can't just replace all the characters with new characters and call it the same thing. I mean, it was an okay movie all in its own, but it just wasn't an Oceans movie, you know? At least for me, that is. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, Sir Cupcake Man, we went over yesterday and hung out with Thyla. I mean, you were there for the beginning of it. But I do think that Tony needs to meet Thyla. Orc! How are you doing? You wish you hadn't gone to bed? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Senor Cuevo's got the, I just pushed E instead of W. My fingers were off by one button. Yes! It was fantastic. She is so lovely. Yep. And then spam our nuts in chat. You can't slap me! There's no slapping the streamer. What's the command? Chub. Chub. Your plot is foiled. Oh no. Yeah, there you go. There's the chubs. Chub toss. Chub throw? Chub toss. Chub toss. You toss a chub across the room. You can also have a dance off. You can hug people. We're a mostly non-violent community. We don't go around slapping each other. Unless it's slapping a high five or something. There we go. Oh no! Beyond Aeon just tossed a chub into the air and caught it. Mostly. Exactly. Unless you like it and you are consenting. Have to say that because we know we do have some people in this community that are okay with that. And that's totally okay. There we go. Orc with a mic throws a chub at Brooklier! And just to, endangered plants! You know what? Landlord. Endangered plants. I mean, Tychus only if someone gets in an accident or a cop sees you doing it. Oh my god, it's so perfect and it's so morbid! Dad died because he couldn't remember his blood type. I'll never forget his last words. Be positive. Oh man. Oh, Sky. So I was just telling these guys earlier today that I found that there's a group of people who are going to start a channel for Icarus to do rescues of players. And I was like, yes, please. So I'm going to do like the Icarus version of fuel ratting. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so much fun. Go in and rescue stranded players. Yeah. Right, Sneer Cleva. I know, it's brutal. It's brutal! That was a dark dad joke. That's like some morbid dad joke. The first client I met with today did say King of Dad Jokes or Champion of Dad Jokes on his t-shirt. And I wanted to bust out some dad jokes, but he didn't seem in the sense of humor phase of the meeting, so yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm gonna be part of the event next weekend. Also next weekend I'm going to orientation, so that hopefully I can get on the roster to do some fostering. I really hope that this organization is gonna be better than the last one, because I am so ready to be a foster parent of kittens. Shreddy is ready to be a foster parent of kittens. She is a badass. She's a badass at kitten fostering. She's very patient. It's the only reason her and Duff got along. She's very patient. Duff was a little shithead. He was so cute though. He was so cute. Oh, you know what? So Facebook has this new feature. Don't know if you guys know this, that you can export all your videos and photos out of Facebook to like Google Photos, right? And all of my photos for like 4 or 5 years are locked on a hard drive because I tried to boot up a Mac OS hard drive on Windows OS, and now it can only be opened on Linux. So I lost all my photos and videos of basically when Duff was a baby and all of that. Hey, we got a cat rave! Oh no. Oh no, Sean! You're back in here. Good. Alright, let me see if I can find... Oh, baby Shreddy in the back of the truck. Oh, she's very cute. Me with guns. That's great. No, I'm trying to find... Because I want to show you guys Duffy being a little shit. He was so cute. He was so cute when he was a baby. Oh my goodness. College years. If you guys could see what was going through me at nightclubs. Some paintings. The painting that's right behind me. Oh, the pterodactyl. This is actually really great. So during finals week, we would do temporary tattoos with Sharpie and gel pens and things like that. And my friend, my bestie, absolutely loved and still does love dinosaurs. Come on, why isn't it letting me zoom in? It's like, no, you can't zoom in. I'm like, I don't want to show her face. Can I zoom in so I can show it without showing her face? It's like, nope, you can't. All right, let's see. Nope. It's not letting me zoom. Oh well. Aw, cute. Turned her vest into a nest. All right, so here's a good photo of it. I did a pterodactyl. I was just gonna zoom in on her chest, but I did a giant pterodactyl. So she wandered around with a giant pterodactyl for a while because, you know, she rocked it. All right, where's baby Duffy? We need baby Duffy videos. Back further. Oh, there's teenage Duffy. We got teenage Duffy, but we got lots of... Oh! Okay. Let's see if I can find some good ones. Oh my goodness, you guys. Let's just mute the tab just in case. I don't know. I haven't like watched these in a while. But this was teenage Duffy loved balloons. He loved balloons. Look at that. Like, he could play for hours. Hours. Look at that bat. Boom. Bat. Okay. Let's see if I can find Duffy as a little shit, though. This is teenage Duffy. Teenage Duffy. We gotta go back. We gotta go back in time a little further. Oh, he was so cute. He was so cute. That's a pretty good one. Let's see. How does it not? He wasn't using his claws. He was just using his paws. He's really good at that. He like when he wrestles and things, he doesn't claw things. So that's the reason it wasn't popping, because it was just his little toe beans. All right, let's see. We're almost there. We're almost there. That's good to know. Yeah, you have to try it. Like, I mean, it might go really badly and it might scare the heck out of them. So, you know, do it with that knowledge that if you're willing to scare the heck out of your animal. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's when he drank his oh yeah. That's the day that he drank the Irish car bomb. Oh, Duffy's also a mechanic. Oh, there's some really cute photos here when he was little, you guys. Oh, he was such a cute little kitty. All right. No, that's not. He's not being a total little shit there. Let's see. Oh yeah, here he is. Here's Shredder deftly handling the crazy little beast. Look at him! Look at how gangly he was! Look at that! He was all ears. He's like, play with me! Play with me! He was so teeny tiny. Yep. He was so teeny tiny. So here's Duff attacking his prey. There he goes. There he goes. He's got it. Ah! Oh, he's got it. And then Duff with his first beer. This is Duff's first beer right there. He really liked it. Duff could fly. He loved being tossed in the air. Absolutely loved being tossed in the air or on the bed or like all over the place. And Duff as a mechanic, you know? Duff as a mechanic. And then Duff riding his motorcycle. Yeah. He was Duff in his young years was quite a wildcat. It was quite a wildcat. Drank beer, rode motorcycles. Right? He lived the dream. He lived the dream. Ugh, he's gotten boring in his old age, you know? Oh man. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I think he crabs in this one. Maybe. Maybe not. I wish cats kept their like crabby stage. You know? See, Shredder's like, she's watching him, but she's letting him play. You know? She's engaged. All the other cats were just like, we're not getting anywhere near that. That's some crazy shit. Look at this. So cute. Anyway, that's Duffy. Duffy is a little shit. He was so cute. It was so cute. Such a cute little baby. Alright. Back to farming. Back to farming. We gotta go get our next load of illegal. Oh, we're almost back to even. We're at 47,000 before we got fined for stealing the corn. So. I know, right? Now he's just sitting around talking about mortgages. Yeah, apparently the servers have been down for a while, BA. Apparently. Maybe they're fixing the SRV picking up thing. Oh. Yes, maintenance. Wait, isn't it early for maintenance? Corn, yeah, Tychus. Maize. Maize is originally a Central and South American crop. Yep. Oh yeah, the FSDs too. So it's fine now? Wait, what? It's been down for 12 hours? Oh. No, I think it's only been down for a few. Like, they take it down at 11. 11 or 12, depending on the time zones. It's been down all day. Oh, for 4 minutes? Wasn't someone saying a while back, though? You were on until about 2 minutes ago? Okay. That's good. That's good. Panic! I mean, Discord was down for what, like 2 hours today? That was some serious panic. That was some serious panic, you guys. I think we might break even on this one. I don't think we're gonna make... I don't think we're gonna make anything. Stealing corn just ain't lucrative. We gotta go back to being hay bandits. Gotta be hay bandits. Da 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 da. So, actually, wait, where are we at? What am I doing? I know what we're doing. Okay. So, if you guys are just tuning in, you didn't know. At the beginning of the stream, we did our like news, but the second chapter is now out on our YouTube for the book. So part 1 of the second chapter is now out. That is the playlist if you haven't read the first bit of it, or listened, I guess. Yep. You can harvest the whole field and sell the excess after the contract finishes. Ah, so you can like sell enough that the contract completes, and then whatever is left over from that, you can take for yourself. Ah, so you can skim. You can skim off the top, but you can't straight up steal it. Okay. All right. We'll have to. We have to kind of go underground for a little while, because they might start looking around at our farm, because we've had 2 contracts that have had some problems. Like this on the corn one, apparently like the bank messed up and didn't wire the money, and that was like a clerical error. It was not us stealing the corn. And on the hay, we had the hay on the trailer. We went inside to get a coffee. We came out, the hay was gone. Someone must have stolen it. So we have some pretty good reasons that we, you know, we've been kind of bad to hire, but we don't want word to get around in this small town that we're you know, unreliable. So we got to do a couple contracts, prove that we're good to hire, so that we kind of keep our cover up. Yeah. Right? Yeah, like here, they're like, I see the farmer, he's like, you know, his field is right over there. He's like, oh, hey boss, how you doing? Oh, no, I'm just selling this corn for Billy Bob down the road. Yeah, just trucking this corn for Billy Bob. Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone put it back on the stocks. Yeah, don't ask how that happened. I have no idea. No idea how it got back on the stocks. But it's pretty great. Pretty great. Oh. I like how Shreddy is listening to me. Like, her little ears are kind of like perked up, but she's sleeping at the same time. This is a good sign, because for a few days there, she wasn't even like looking at me or tracking things going on around her. That's when I got worried. Alright, we're... Oh! Hey! Asshole! mean, I did turn into traffic, but we're not going to talk about that. It didn't happen. What? Oh no! Thundernut! Is Thundernut still around? Alright, Robert, have a good night. We'll have to do this tomorrow. Thundernut, redeemed dance party and I didn't see it. I didn't see it! Oh no! Biker Flame! Long time no see. How are you doing? How have you been? What have you been playing? What have you been up to? And if you just want to sit back and relax and not answer any questions, grab a drink, kick back. So tomorrow we'll kick off with a dance party because Thundernut spent his hard-earned channel points on a dance party. And I missed it. I missed it. We had like the Storytime redemption and it got sidetracked. Oh, those stories. Those stories getting going. Alright. We're almost there. We're almost done selling the illegal corn. Brew! We will name a plant after you, Brew. Alright. Last bit of corn. So I think we made a couple thousand. Definitely not as much as we would have made if we had not done illegal shit. Which sucks, because if we had done it right, we would have made an extra 50,000, but... Yep. You didn't know I was a farmer! Biker Flame! You didn't know I was... well, I hadn't played much Farm Sim before Farm Sim 22. But in real life, I am a farmer. And I love farming in games, no matter what games. But this is my first go-round. So I restarted a save because the first, obviously I was learning the ropes and made a lot of weird mistakes and stuff. So I restarted. And due to some of the mistakes I made, we found out that we could steal hay bales. And the chat decided that I should live a life of crime. So eventually we're gonna be rich crime lords with horses and stuff that will feed stolen hay. But right now we're just a wheeler and dealer, you know? The grifting lifestyle has just started. Yes, I know, right? I know, Beyond Aeon fed this addiction. I had Farm Sim 19, and I hadn't played much of it, but he gifted me 22, so I, instead of it just being like, oh yeah, I want to kind of play that thing at some point, I had to, and then it's very relaxing. It's very relaxing and addicting. See? What? What, Sean? See what? Yeah, exactly. That philosophy sucks. What philosophy? Oh, yeah, no. We're not getting into mods. Okay, so we did come out a little bit ahead. Even though we got dinged for our stolen harvest. So we're gonna be starting a Minecraft server, speaking of mods. And Mechanic Man was telling us that we will be able to portal over to a modded server. So we're going to start out with vanilla. And once we get a solid idea of who's going to be playing, who's going to be active on the server, then we'll come up with a list. I mean, I have my own personal list of things that I would like to see as a mods on a Minecraft server, but we'll kind of we'll get a consensus on that. And create a modded server. Because I know for a lot of people, they're like, I can't go back to playing vanilla Minecraft. But vanilla Minecraft has a lot added. So it's a whole different game. Oh. You have to ride the horses every day right now? That's funny. Oh, true. Well, that was before I streamed, and that was so awkward. That was so awkward. Okay, Alright, you guys get a bonus mini story because Sean brought it up. So a couple years back, I was dating this guy. Okay, so I found this one guy really, really cute, had a hard crush on him. Really hard crush on him. And I don't know if he was just like super oblivious or he just didn't pick up on it, but anyway, his friend moved in and we had some chemistry and we started dating. And it didn't go very well. And things went south. And the friend that I had the crush on didn't know, because it was still early in the dating process. They didn't know that we were dating. And the guy that I had been dating that I had just broken up with, and the girl that he was cheating on me with, or not really cheating, but anyway, the girl that he had moved on with, or whatever we want to say, and their whole friend group started an ARC server. And I was kind of on the periphery. I was still hanging out with the friend that I had the crush on prior to the dating. And that friend, the friend that I had the crush on, was like, oh, why don't you come join us and play, boss? And I was like, no, it's okay. I don't have the game. So he gave it to me. And I was like, I really don't want to play with the guy I just broke up with and the girl he's now dating. You know, I was like, no. So that's why I never played ARC back then. And I could at any point. Right, Mad Seeker? I know, usually I am the least naughty streamer. These guys will tell you. They've been trying to get me to do naughty things for a long time. But apparently my con artist came out, my grifter, my inner grifter. Not grafter, because grafting is pretty cool too, but my inner grifting came out and farms him. Who knows why? I steal hay. But we have to cover up our tracks. We've got to do a couple projects that are legit. So tomorrow we'll be doing some legit projects to kind of, you know, we have to get our reputation up as a good helper in the town so that we can get the real lucrative hay jobs, you know? Yes. Yes. Well, that's the thing, Brew. We're gonna do the newest version of Minecraft, and so it's what mods are gonna be available for the newest release of the game. But yes, I know, Mad Seeker, it's good. But we do have Shreddy here, and she stayed the entire stream, and this is how you guys know she's not 100%, is that she's literally hung out with us the entire stream. And normally, at least an hour in, she'd get up and wander away. So she's been very kind of quiet and staying in a spot. She's getting a little bit better, but hopefully we can take advantage and she can be our stream buddy while she's getting back on her feisty, sassy kitty feet. Yes, but she's tracking a lot better. She's eating. She's wandering around, scratching things, you know, being cute. Ah, it sounds itchy. Beyond Anne. Oh no. So, say goodnight to the shredder, guys. Say goodnight to the shreddy fluff. Alright. And with that, our night of crime has ended. We didn't really make a lot. We made like 3,000 when we could have made 8 by doing a legit job. The greed got to us. We got caught. The corn cops caught us. The farmer got wised up. The farmer wised up. He cashed in his insurance claim. The insurance company came after the farmhand. I was innocent. I didn't steal that corn. It must have been someone else. Must have been a clerical error at the bank. They should have transferred the farmer that money. Why is Farm Sim bringing out my RP side? No idea. No idea why it's like suddenly I'm like, yes, let's RP. Let's RP some Farm Sim. Nothing is nerdier than that. Anyway, thank you guys. It has been another lovely night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the roller coaster of the boss stories today. We got into some funny ones, like how the boss garden was homeless, how creepy my neighbor that lived across the way was, and how everybody in the chat decides that we should send out some guys to take care of that old landlord and plant him under some endangered species so that it's illegal to dig them up. Yes. Yeah, I know. It's interesting. Anyway, so that's it. No idea. No idea. That's it for tonight. So we're gonna figure out who we're gonna go pass the love along to. Harvey Bo, which is still gonna be my name for you, no matter what. But Harvey, thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you very much. I appreciate the tip. Yuleberry, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the boss bar. We're just getting ready to close the boss bar, but we'll be back tomorrow at 8 PST, Pacific Standard Time. Yes, Shreddy is 14. Yes, she is 14. She's an ancient old kitty cat. Yes, she's ancient. But let's see if there's anybody in, and if you guys know, if you know anybody that is currently streaming Farm Sim that you would like us to go support, link them in chat. I'm gonna go see if we can find someone. Oh really, Yulbear? I'm glad you enjoyed it. There's a lot more where that come from. As I was mentioning, there's a lot of craziness that happened, and there's just makes for good stories. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemies, right? Or maybe, I don't know. That would be karma, right? If the landlord had to live in a place that was like that with a person like him. Oh, that would be great. All right. Who should we go raid? Does anybody know any of the people that are streaming other than me, of course? Any of the people that are streaming Farm Sim right now? There's a lot of different people on. They all look lovely. Should we check one out randomly? Like Let's see. The last time I chose someone that was very lots of swearing. There was lots of swearing. Not that I'm against swearing, but it was looking at the titles. I'm looking at the titles. We could go watch a Czech streamer. Oh, someone in French. I have all languages on right now, which is which could be really entertaining, right? All right. I'm gonna pop in and I'm just gonna see if they're responsive and listen for a second. Okay. They're fertilizing.
It's not bad, but...
Oh, I forgot to cover up my check mark. Dang it! I try and go undercover, you guys.
Lady? How's it going?
Oh, they were fast to respond.
Boss lady, welcome to the Two Boss Man crew.
Okay, they get the raid. They get the raid right there. Whoever's on voice comms and the streamer, they get the raid.
We doing start from scratch, so.
Oh, they're doing hardcore mode, you guys.
We managed to pay off our debt, but then gain more debt, and now we're trying to set up so we could mow some grass and turn in some hay and grass. Yeah. Do you play Farm Sim, boss lady?
All right, let me queue up the raid. It's always awkward when you start a conversation and then you're like, I gotta pause this conversation for a second because we're gonna raid into them. All right, so
Nice.
you guys ready? You ready to take the party over to copy paste Instructor Tiny. Now no one pre-raid. All right.
Have the music bot going.
We're gonna get Tiny.
So they're listening to louder than I am, but we're just vibing out. Having a good time.
So we got the raid call right here. So copy if you would like to join, and we're gonna raid on over. Thank you guys.
Enjoy some.
Let me mute him for a second. All right, thank you guys so much for a wonderful evening. Definitely didn't actually mute him. There we go. Muted him. We're gonna go over and hang out with Instructor Tiny. All right. Thank you guys. Enjoy. Grab your drink. Grab some snacks. We've got a lot of extra snacks tonight. Grab some snacks. Take them along with you. We're gonna go over, chill, hang out with Tiny. See what he's doing on his farm. He's doing hardcore mode, so maybe I'll learn a thing or two about how to steal some more crops. Maybe find some more loopholes for my grifting, for my banditry. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll be doing some more farming. And I owe you a dance party, so we'll have a dance party to kick it off. So be here or be square. All right, guys. Big hugs. Stay sassy, all right?